Test. Should be good. Good boys. Good morning, Joanne. Proud, what's up, brother? What if I keep failing TPT KYC? You keep failing the KYC. Try a different ID. Let me ask, like, are you actually like valid and you're just like failing when you shouldn't be, or are you breaking something? You know what I mean? Before I try and help you, like, are you actually meant to be passing, or are you breaching something? Good boys. Oh, we're so locked in, man. KYB. What's KYB? There's probably a reason that you're failing. There's probably a reason that you're failing, right? The right to What's the right NQ to chart on? I would chart on H2026. As long as you're on H2026, you're good. Now, ideally the mini, but I'm making my life easier. I'm just doing the micro. Simple targets today. Previous day's high. Previous day low. I'll be honest. There's no clear on which one is more likely. Probably leaning slightly towards previous day high. Nothing more clean than the other. Yeah, I mean, leaning towards previous day's high. Marking out my levels. Give me a sec, guys. Break down the bias and everything. To worry. Get an annotation here on 8:30 open. Get an annotation here on midnight open. Here. Let's mark out my levels and then I'll answer questions. Then we'll get started once people join. Set. How's everyone doing today? Yep, there's no news today. Good boys. Do you not just trade as an individual and get paid into your LLC bank account? You can do that. You can. So what I do, because I can't get bank transfers anyways, like because I'm in Canada for most of the firms, I just get them to pay my business wise account, which is in my business's name. And then from my business wise account, I send the money to my business bank account. Right? If you're trying to do KYC but you're putting in your business information, like that's not gonna work. Um, I still think you're supposed to trade under your name. You should trade under your name, and then you take payouts to your business bank account, right? You don't like tell the prop firm like, oh, it's this LLC is trading, not me. You know, I'm in Canada. I'm in Toronto. I'm like 10 minutes outside Toronto. You set up a business. You just do it online, and then you go to the bank after. The thing is, I don't think you're necessarily trading under company. I don't know. I've never tried it on TBT. I mean, that's probably something I have to do too. So I guess I can try it. Where does it even say that? Where did you even find that option? Because I don't see that anyway. Profile, switch to company, company, U.S. only. So I couldn't even do this anyways. See, like I don't. My company's a Canadian company, so if you live in Canada, you can write them off anyways. I'm pretty sure in the US too. You don't need an LLC or a corporation to write off. If it makes you feel better, prod. I literally have to trade under my name because remember, you're just an employee of the company. So it's fine if you want to trade in your name and then just pay yourself to the company, right? I have to come in here every day to get my 365 days. I rate you, bro. Best prop firm. Depends what your goal is. Um, all the ones I'm affiliated with are very good. My favorite one is Alpha Futures. The reason they're my favorite because the payouts are easiest. They give less profit split. It goes 70, 80, and then 90. So there's a tier-based system for the standard account. You have to work up to 90, which is another reason to take small payouts early on. Creatify is good. I haven't used them yet, but they're good. Apex is a great option too. They're all great. It depends what your goal is. Is your goal a really easy payout? If that's your goal, I recommend Alpha Futures, maybe Lucid, but probably Alpha. If your goal is daily payouts, I would look at Lucid or Take Profit Trader. Right? If your goal is 20 accounts, you have to go Apex. Um, okay, so let's break down what I'm looking for today. If you look at the daily chart, we're still inside previous week's range and also previous day's range. So we're pretty neutral still. The weekly chart has just been going back and forth. We're still inside December. We're still inside the previous week range, and we're still inside previous day's range. Now, if you look at dollar index is more bearish than bullish, right? It's projecting off of the daily SIBI. So I'll show you guys the dollar index. So dollar index overall more bearish, right? We swept out the high on dollar. We wicked pretty far down and we have equal lows. We also have NWOG right here. So there's a good chance dollar is more weak. Overall, it's already been more weak. So it would make sense that NASDAQ wants to go higher. In which case, previous day's high is what I would look for. But that's a really soft bias. I don't have like, oh, bullish for sure. It's gonna be more of a neutral bias, and we'll just have to see when we get more information. But as of right now, I like previous day's high. I like this high here. I like the pre-market high here. So I want to look for longs going into market open. Obviously, it's possible we come back. There's equal lows here. Like it's really 50-50. So the bias is neutral. My higher time frame bias is still neutral, but slightly leaning bullish for indices. Given the fact that dollar, like I said, is bearish. And that's about it. Another thing is YM is also near all-time highs, so you know the deal. If all-time highs in the picture, we shoot. So if YM is gonna be, the leading asset, we can potentially anticipate Nasdaq and S&P 500 to follow. So, right, add an alert there for YM all-time highs could potentially be hit today again. So that's the game plan for today. It could be range bound, but we haven't really done much overnight, right? We just kind of opened, went up, down. Now we're slowly moving higher. If we do go above this high, I would expect this and this as well. So this is your pre-market buy side right here. I would mark that out. Pre-market buy side. Liquidity. Previous AM session high. Or sorry, this is like, let's just call it London high. Make it simple. Well, pre-market high, make it simple. So hopefully that answers all questions. That's the game plan for today. If we can take out sell side or some sort of retracement into a protraction, I will take that execution long. I don't know how much 1 point is on YM, I'll be honest. You can trade NQ on alpha. Yeah, safety protocol today, yeah. Just because it's no news and there's better days this week, right? Wednesday and Friday. Better be safe today with no news and be a little bit more aggressive on Friday and tomorrow. This is AM, New York AM session. Top step benefits. The only reason someone would choose Top Step, I'll be honest, like there's better firms now. Top Step hasn't changed anything in a really long time. Firms compared themselves to Top Step and they made better plans. So if you want a firm like Top Step, I'd recommend Lucid Trading. They're pretty much the better version. If you really don't want to change for some reason, well, I mean that's okay. You can use both or just Top Step. It's up to you, right? I mean that's the luxury of prop firms now. You have 1,000 options and they're all solid in one way or another. Everyone has the best discount. Yeah, I mean besides Alpha. Alpha's the only one firm that offers that payout perk. So you can't find that anywhere else. Boys, I filled up my water bottle, but I forgot to bring it in. So give me 1 sec. Let me just get my water bottle. Let me show you guys this monstrous. My legs are so fucking sore. Look at this monstrous fucking water bottle, bro. I guess it's not that big, but I'm gonna try to finish this by the end of the day. Take my first sip now. Yeah, Alpha Futures. I have pants. Yeah, yeah. My recommended Alpha Futures type is the standard account. Standard account is my personal favorite because the payouts are easiest. All right, so market open. You guys know the drill. Every time market opens, we actually do have an opening range gap premium. So we opened in premium. You can see here the opening range gap quadrants: 100, 75, 50, 25. and 0. We'll definitely keep that annotated on the chart. I don't really need the 25 and 75, and we'll just make this red and dotted so it's easier to see, and then 12. So 0%, 50, 100. You know what I'll do? I'm just going to label them or 1.0 because I don't like the zero, seeing the 0 and org 0.0. Price level comes in at 607.5. Or 0.50. So yeah, I do want to see some move lower below 930 open. Ideally, we don't really need to mark out 830. We'll just use true day right there. So we take out pre-market highs. We take out London highs. Yeah, I mean there isn't really going to be a good short opportunity, but if the next candle hypothetically was to break lower, we can take read a short if we take close below that wick. Or we just go straight up to previous day's high. That's also possible. For now, there's not much we can do. We just kind of have to wait. So I do have all the accounts open up today. Which ones will execute, we'll have to see. Maybe all, maybe one, maybe none. So good here. The boot camp's going to start on Thursday. Apex 90% off, and today, um, other than that, I think there's anything else. How can you see the gap? You have to toggle regular trading hours. So if you can't see the opening range gap, I'm going to tell you exactly what you can do right now. Go to settings, go to canvas, go to symbol, and see where it says session. Switch to regular trading hours. So you're going to go to session, switch to regular trading hours, and then you'll see the gap. Now, when you mark out the gap, make sure you mark it from closing price yesterday to opening price today. So it's going to look like this. That's your gap, right? From close to open. This is the price. This is a liquidity void, right? This is what price can trade back into because in regular trading hours, this price level, all the way from here to here, there are no orders. They did not get offered that price value, right? It was not offered to anyone, including myself, in regular trading hours. So there's a tendency to pull back into that range. I like to mark it out with lines. If we got a strong inversion here, we could maybe classic model short, targeting pre-market lows. It would look something. No, the risk to reward is not even close to good enough. So be something like this. You could maybe extend it to org 1. If you took fill here. I mean, if you got a fill like here, I mean, it's not my favorite trade. Dollar index is also moving lower. If you look at ES, it's moving higher. So there's no intermarket analysis supporting this trade idea currently. We can quickly check the YM, also moving higher. So yeah, I don't really want to engage with anything lower right now. We do get 2-day open on ES and maybe start to wick lower. We'll see if that permits lower price action. This is Nasdaq that you're watching. Yes, I wouldn't use it as first presented, but I mean you could. So what I'm expecting is potentially a run all the way down here, but I don't think it's worth the setup. I don't really like the risk to reward. You know, like I don't know if I would do something like this. I don't really like that stop loss. Normally I like my stop loss like here or here. and that would only give me 1.28R. So dollar index could be bullish from this point on, make a higher high, but again, what I really want to see is longs to previous day's high. That was my objective. So I'm okay missing shorts if it means I'm waiting for the higher probability setup, which is longs to previous day's high. That's what I want to take. So I'm just going to sit here and wait for that. Whether we want to take sell side out or just, I'm going to watch, see where we can find the bullish order flow. And if it's really clear, like maybe even, I don't normally take high day protraction models, but this one might be worth taking because dollar is moving lower. We have the SMT at London highs, so if ES wants to speed up. Then again, there's not really any clean price action in here. Remember the rules. We have to see a clean setup. We haven't gotten that. Some good speed there. Even if I did take this order block, I mean, stop loss would have to be at least like here. The risk reward is 1.5 for a best case scenario. So definitely no setup here for me. I do think this can go up to previous day's high. 1.5R is not enough. It's not risk optimal enough for me. I won't be able to trail my stop anywhere. Maybe pyramid. It's just not the best trade. So better be patient. For those of you who were watching yesterday, we actually made money in lunch. I actually signaled you guys in the Discord. Told you guys I was going to short 1150 macro. That's exactly what I did. And we're up on the day from yesterday, so the win streak continues. I don't want to sound like the guy who's like, the guy in your class who gets an A and they're like, damn it, it's not an A+. And we're just like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, but on a real note, like, I don't like being on this win streak because now I just feel like there's an added pressure to win more. And I don't like it, I feel like once I lose, it's just like, all right, we can start fresh, I didn't short PM. I was busy in PM, but I did short lunch, 1150 macro, and then again at 1250 macro. So I took one trade. If I'm being honest, I took 3. It took me 3 attempts, but I never lost again. They were break evens, so I allowed myself to, I was never down more than 1R on the day. In fact, I was never down more than 0.5. So I was allowing myself multiple attempts. Again, it took multiple attempts in lunch. But honestly, it was bad trade management because it was pretty clean what formed. Again, there's no fair value gaps forming here, so I think this is going to be, again, I don't know if it's going to speed lower, speed higher. It looks like right now, based on dollar index expansion higher, that these next couple candles on NASDAQ will potentially fill org or take sell side. I think that's likely. It's not the cleanest classic model. The risk reward's not there. Yeah, it's really just not a setup I want to take. I don't like the stop loss placement. The setup's not that clean. It's not really a key time for a classic model. Usually you want to see it form a little bit earlier. So just going to wait. The bias is neutral, if I'm being honest. Did I catch the same trade? I didn't take any trades yet. Oh, yesterday's shorts, 50. Yeah. I don't know how many points it was, but yeah, I think it was around. I got a little bit more than 50, I think. I think I got like 60 or 70 points. You held the short from lunch? Nice. Yeah, that was a great trade. Just to double check, everyone from YouTube stream, can you guys all see the charts clearly? Or at least decently clear. Like you can see the annotations and the candlesticks. Can you see the wicks of the candlesticks? It's all good? Okay. Because on my end, it looks absolutely atrocious. I would never watch the live stream if that's what it looked like. But it seems for you guys it's good. So, because I'm streaming in 1080p now, and I'm doing that so I can record the entire live stream and make more content. So, if I record the live stream, there's probably a 5-minute gap. Yeah. So, I think we'll maybe expand higher. So, see how anyone's like, not to say anyone like taking these shorts, but just because there's an inversion here and you're waiting for it, like you have to look at the quality of that, right? The quality of that is pretty bad. And honestly, dollar is still expanding higher, so maybe this does go lower, but You get the idea. You can see that obviously this is not the best setup. However, this protraction might be. Is there a 2-minute gap? No. See, the fact that we're not forming fair value gaps makes me definitely skeptical. I really like the displacement there, and I like that the 5-minute is likely to inverse. Again, it's just the risk to reward for me is not there. Like 1.5 is pretty awful, and we may not even go down there. We may just take out these equal lows. So I can't really take this trade. I don't know how far down it's gonna go. It's possible we go all the way down here. We talked about those equal lows on live stream. I mean, yeah, that's possible. I think it's just something we're gonna have to miss. Just watch it. I don't think it's something I'm meant to capture. You know, not too clean in here. I want to make sure we're following the checklist. It needs to be a clean, strong setup. You have a second computer record without capture card, but through network. I have 3 monitors, but only 1 computer. What's your preferred thought? How you want to move? What's my preferred best case scenario? Would be something like this. If we got something like this and I would take that long, it could also be something like this. I would also take that. I don't want to see that, but it can go down there. That's what I would want to see. And then on dollar index, I'd want to see after taking out this buy side it to break lower. That's the best case scenario. That's what's going to be the easiest trade for me. I don't think they're going to give me an easy trade. For example, I might have to trust this 5-minute. If we get a really strong candle here, I may just trust the 5. The 5-minute fair value gap wicks the bottom, touches the OB. Dollar index wicks the high. If not, then we just wait for the macro or wait for 10. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's gonna form anyway, so no problem. We wait for the macro. 8 minutes. We can be patient for 8 minutes. This is the 1-minute chart. I'll always be on the 1-minute chart if you tune into the live streams. With your Mac, you could what Mac? I also want to record in 4K. That's the thing, right? So right now I'm my recordings are I'm recording right now. It's all good now, by the way. So I think everything is solved. I'm gonna record the entire live stream. The only issue is it's gonna be a long freaking recording. You could long this. You could long this right now from the 5-minute and dollar index wicks the high. I'm gonna check YM. No, YM doesn't. There's no intermarket analysis really supporting this trade idea. YM looks really bearish actually. YM, that's a really strong closure on YM, really fast. If you look at S&P, it's also just moving lower. Dollar index, again, overall is still technically bullish, but it has potential to move lower, in which case higher. So I think I'd have to at least wait for a CISD or wait for the macro / 10 a.m. How do you like losing on what platform? I think there's only one. It's just TradeAway, right? I didn't know there was another one. How do I like it? I'm going to be honest with you. I got 1 eval with them. We did not pass. We almost did. And right now, I don't want to buy any evals. I'm happy with my loadout for prop firms. And I may try this CISD long. 2R to previous day's high. It's solid. If we get immediate rebalance, we got immediate rebalance. And I didn't take it. And now the fill's not good enough for me. Yeah. It is what it is. I was gonna say if we got the immediate rebalance, which was right here, and then go above to that high, I'd buy it. I was a little bit hesitant. I just it wasn't like a maximum conviction. See how dollar index took the high and starts to break lower? That's exactly what I was anticipating to happen. So now NQ moving higher. I'm assuming YM probably also pulling higher. So if you want to take a 1R setup, this is a good trade. If you're a 1R trader like this, but for me, I think I missed the move. Trade. Previous highs, pretty textbook. So you can see we got the inversion. I mean, this trade was pretty outlined. It wasn't the best setup. We never really took out sell side, but the 5-minute gap plus the inversion here, that was all outlined in front of you guys. And then the CISD plus the immediate rebalance, which is right here. For now, we just wait. This looks like it can go pretty high. I'll run a deviation. If we're gonna break above that high, -1 is here. So maybe 25750 today. It's possible. That's a clean fair value gap. I could look for a protraction from there if it's gonna give it to us. I don't know if it is. I don't expect it to, but it might, and it would be pretty much 950 macro protraction. And that's pretty clean, right? I don't expect a protraction. It should just go straight up. So you can see that business. Dollar index pulled lower right when we expected. ES speeding up to break the S&T. Very nice. I get times where I hate looking at the charts. Believe it or not, no. I'm quite addicted to this. I genuinely love looking at the charts. I could do it all day. I could sit there and tape read all day, even if I wasn't trading. Like, first thing I do when I wake up in bed is look at the charts. I want to see what overnight did. Um, every day. That's the first thing I do, literally every single day. That's what I do. I look up, I wake up, and I open my phone. I'm like, Asia. If dollar moves lower, don't do it like that. If dollar is bearish and you're expecting overall dollar to be bearish and see a prolonged price run lower, then yeah, expect a opposing price run on Nasdaq. Don't fall victim to dollar 5 minute IFEG, therefore Nasdaq must go higher. No, it's not like that. But dollar overall, when I was outlining dollar, I said overall on the daily chart, it's bearish. So if I see bearish signatures intraday, makes sense. There's previous day's high. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I did hesitate for like 2-3 seconds. To be honest, I don't think I would have gotten the fill on all the accounts I wanted to. So little bit of FOMO there. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted the fill as soon as this candle came right here. That's where I wanted to click the buy button. I should have put a buy stop there. Would have been even then. It was only a 1.9 hour setup. No pyramid, no risk. So it's not like we missed something crazy. It would have been nice to be done and dusted for early on, though. Holy effing FOMO. Yeah, you had about 2 to 3 seconds to enter that trade. Um, you had this wick. This candle opened, immediate rebalance. And then shoot. Once you get that IRB, by the way, and then the speed flip, that's when the breakaway is expected to form. So, do we have SMT previous day's high? We have SMT previous day's high, but we have taken out London high on ES. Potential protraction model in the 950 macro here. It would be very nice if they wanted to give that to us. I only want to mark org today. I'll mark org fill. Mark those two org. Okay, potential 950 macro protraction model here. So I would take it because ES has previous day's high, and like I said, overall I am still bullish. So 950 to 1010 macro. Um, hopefully we get a nice. I wouldn't take that OB. That's too far in premium. I need to see a little bit more structure. Damn, man. Yeah, see that? It's like that shit was going down. They're like, no. Oh, it was just about to retrace, man. They just flipped that shit 1 second. Anyone have TradingView Premium? I do have that. If they do, they have footprint charts. I don't know, but I don't know how to access that, and I don't really want to. Nothing have me anymore. Definitely going to be a patience tester, and it's definitely going to test your fear of potentially missing a move. If you feel like you're owed money right now, if you feel like you need to take something, if you're starting to scout setups that you don't normally scout, like taking a long right now, yeah, those are the signatures that you're not really okay missing this move that you were probably able to outline. I think pretty textbook setup. I mean, usually you want to see sell side, but the 5 minute gap is valid as well. There's half standard deviation. And remember, our target was 750. That was my best case scenario target for that setup. Or yeah, you're taking shorts. Not to say, if you actually took a proper trade, then well done. But if you're trying to look for shorts just because we took previous day's high, that's not a good reason, right? You're really taking it because you missed the move, and now you're hoping that it can go lower. Doesn't mean it's gonna go lower. I'm hoping we can get a long. Okay, previous day's high is gone on ES. All right, this looks like it's gonna be quite expansive. My best case scenario target right now is 6970 on S&P 500. Oh, that's gonna be hit right now. Am I calling out a two handle run? We're just gonna have to play it by ear, I think, because obviously there's buy side here, 803. That's probably best case, not best case scenario, but that's probably the next target is 803 buy side on the daily chart. Dollar index still has room for lower, a lot of room lower. All these equal lows are up for grabs in London for dollar index, so there's definitely room for lower. I'm just gonna take a look at Nvidia stock. Hopefully it's pumping. Yeah, 2%. And AMB's down. I'm a hater. I love it. It's a deep, deep protraction. So situations like this, what you can do is take the deferred protraction. Not the best trade. Like you're taking like this is your protraction, right? It's here, but you're taking it on this fair value gap with a stop loss here. I don't like it. I prefer a retracement into the 5 or 15 or the 10 that forms. You could try to snipe a 3R setup right now. It's not really my style. Not really my like. I don't want to enter on a fair value gap after we took out previous day's high. So I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait. There's so much opportunity in one day. Gustavo, legit question. Sorry, man. You don't have to pay to ask questions. If I missed your question, you just keep sending it again in a couple seconds or a minute or two. But you said legit question. I'm on 5 300K Apex accounts. They're all in 2,000 drawdown. No problem. Any suggestions to go out of it? Yeah. So when you're in drawdown, when you take a string of losses, what you want to do, or what I should say is what I like to do, and what other traders who I learned from, and I'm not talking about like mentorship, I'm talking about like from books who talk about risk management, talking about ICT. They recommend you de-risk. In fact, even after a loss, some traders they de-risk as soon as they lose. They de-risk the next trade to build back that loss, and if they lose, they stay de-risked, and they're just always de-risked until they make back their money, right? I would recommend the exact same. If you want to see DXY, you have to. Oh, they don't even have DX futures. Yeah, unfortunately, you're not gonna have that. I think it's free data though. How much should I de-risk by? That's up to you. I like to do 50%. I would say anywhere from 50 to 75%, 25 to 50% de-risk. I think is a good play. And you gotta build back your drawdown. Like you can't rush to make back your money because when you get in drawdown, your first goal is to not lose more money. That's your first goal because if you lose more money, then you get in big trouble. Umar Ashraf said there are days where you have to increase risk. I mean, I personally disagree, but to each their own, man. To each their own. Like, I have a max risk on my live account. It's 1%. I hope that I will never risk more than 1%. But keep in mind, so I risk 1% per trade. But on the day, I allow myself to lose no more than 3%, right? So if I take a trade and I risk 2%, I may just take that one trade and then stop for the day, Because usually I take multiple trades in one day when the price action is good and there's multiple opportunities. I'll take multiple trades. So if I'm taking multiple trades, I can just take one trade with 2% risk rather than one trade or 2 trades with 1%. You get what I'm saying? The maximum loss on the day for me still protects me. No, I didn't take the long. We missed it, unfortunately. Not unfortunately. I mean, I'm not gonna beat myself up about it. I will journal it that it formed very nicely. It was a very nice setup. If you know what an immediate rebalance is, you saw it right here. That's exactly what I'm gonna mark. Actually, I'm just gonna mark the IRB. Mark the IRB, and I'm gonna say lot of speed higher after plus IRB. Breakaway gap. It's so textbook. It's a very textbook price signature. If you don't know what an immediate rebalance is, although I don't want to promote people to, add concepts into their trading, but specifically an immediate rebalance, if you don't know what that is, it's a very good price signature to look for, especially if you're into like taking trades with like very little drawdown, because it's if you're gonna see that where it ticks down, touches the wick, and then immediately you can buy on the buy stop. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to put a buy stop right here, because this candle was trading down, right? So it opened, traded down, and if it was gonna flip and trade back to this high, I would buy that on a stop. So the trade would have looked something like this, like right there. That's where I would have wanted my fill. Once this candle came back up, stop at the OB low. Previous day's high was 1.9R. The one deviation was 3. So we missed it, but it is what it is. I'll keep that annotation there. So macro is delivering pretty nicely. In hindsight, remember that setup we talked about here? I did say I don't want to take it, but seems to be like it might be playing out. If you did take this setup, I would personally move my stop loss right here now, right? So you'd be cutting your risk effectively by over 60, almost 70%. And I'll just watch it. I would like a protraction to go long. I think the target is right here, daily buy side. I don't know if this is Friday's high, but it's just your daily buy side level. I think that's the target. So it's gonna be hard to find a good protraction. This was probably the best one. I should have taken the. If I was gonna take one, it was this one right here, because it had the OB with the fair value gap, and it's a deferred protraction model entry, which I personally really like. I don't really teach that on my YouTube, but because like I'll explain it now. It's hard to take the protraction like this right when it forms the OB, right? Also, the risk reward is not the best. However, sorry, it looks something like this. That's hard to trust. But if we expand, put in a fair value gap, and then retrace, you can now take the same protraction with a stop loss at the original protraction. So you're basically predicting, which like really the protraction would be here for those of you who know my model. So you'd be taking a trade like this. But instead of waiting for that, you can still take the old one. It's called deferred protraction. That's what I call it. You can call it whatever you want. Do you know which trading you plan makes high frequency updates like single tick updates every? Which trading you plan? It should be all of them. Does mine update every second? I don't know if that was even an option. Hopefully my thing's updating every second, because if not, that would suck. There's a 10-minute gap in here. I don't know if we're gonna get there. There's a 5-minute gap in here, so potentially the next retrace we can maybe look for a run to buy side. Probably not something I want to take on my live account. It's a deep premium entry. I don't like that. I don't like the high day protractions. Daily bias, of course. I didn't have a clear daily bias today. How come we're going so high? I was bearish on the day pre-market. No. Probably just had the wrong bias, or maybe you didn't have the wrong bias, but just wrong draw. Like maybe you were right to be bearish, but it just didn't pan out. In my opinion, the daily chart was neutral. Like there was nothing clear on the daily. But what did I say on the daily chart? I said it's more bullish than bearish. Like I admit I said I was neutral, but I also said, if you were listening, dollar index is more bearish. If dollar index is indicating more bearish, then obviously potentially a run higher on Nasdaq. The Nasdaq chart did not look clear to me at all, but the dollar index chart did look clear to me for lower on the higher time frame. So that's what made me neutral slash a little bit leaning long towards previous day's high on ES. And now that you see the order flow is really strong, you can probably expect the daily buy side. That's the thought process there. So this 10-minute gap, I would take protractions from it. Do I think we're gonna get there? I'm not sure, but if we do, you know what? I really like this color for the 5-minute gap. Let's change it to that. It's just the perfect hint. You can still see it clearly. Change that. The discount POS, perfect. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get a retrace. It was that one setup here. I should have probably viewed the heaviness there, but it is what it is. No, I don't think bearish SMT hold. It's not a bearish SMT. I'm thinking sell soon. Anyone else? Not me, personally. Like I said, don't fall victim to looking for dollar index candle for candle. It's not literally like dollar goes up, Nasdaq goes down right now. No, it's if the US dollar is weak, right? Indices tend to be stronger. It's a general narrative correlation that just makes sense. It's not like, oh, 5-minute inversion on dollar, therefore 5-minute inversion on Nasdaq, we're bullish. No, that's not how it works. That's too. What's way too small time frame. If you're looking at dollar index as a whole being bullish or bearish, you can't be looking at the intraday charts. Now, right? You got to be looking at the daily. Like, where are we on the daily? So, for example, if you saw this here, okay, now you can look at the intraday charts because we're taking out a daily high, and if we're bearish, we should wick and displace lower. If you saw that, that's your key signature. That dollar index is probably gonna pivot lower now, right? Um, right now, dollar's going more sideways. It's neutral on the week, although again, still bearish higher time frame. You would have taken that long with equal lows below. Yeah, yeah, easily, because it filled the 5-minute, right? And the signature and price is there. We stopped dead in the tracks of the 5-minute, and it's just beautiful. What's more important than those sweeping the equal lows is running previous day's high, and I guess the daily buy side. Like, it's not a bearish SMT just because you see the SMT. It doesn't make it a bearish SMT. It's only SMT if the market is predisposed to go lower. There's a common misconception. Dollar ES is bullish, so it's not SMT. It's Six Sister approach. If you don't know what Six Sister approach is, I'd recommend you watch ITT's video on it. But it's like you would target the SMT in this scenario. You wouldn't be looking for shorts from it. You would be targeting it. That's your drawn liquidity. ES, previous day's high, right here. And then obviously the daily buy side here. I don't know how close ES is. Not clear at all what's going on here. Oh, ES is the SMT is there. Yeah, so Nasdaq is playing catch up. Don't view it as a bearish SMT. You know, view it as Nasdaq needs to catch up to the S&P 500. Now again, I'm not saying you should take a long on that. I'm just saying that's the general premise. Dollar index making higher highs pretty strongly. Why was sell side not swept? The 5-minute gap, I would say, it was just that bullish that we didn't want to go any lower. Just the 5-minute gap was enough. We did a lot of run lower in overnight session, right? Overnight session swept out all this liquidity, so makes sense. It's not like we opened and only went up on the day. The daily power 3, I would say, still pretty present. 10-minute gap. Remember that if we can get below previous day's high, that's where I would look for my protraction. So right here would be ideal for me. The line is an immediate rebalance. It's what I saw at the time that made me want to take the long. It was just a little bit too fast. It's a little bit too fast. Too fast to catch. 10 a.m. reversal. Are you bearish to expect a 10 a.m. reversal? I'm not. Bro, why is there a straw? Get this shit out of here. Dude, I don't want a fucking straw. This is New York daily. Yeah, this would be a daily for me, right? It's a daily protractor. I got stopped out 64 euros or pound. I don't know what that is. Is that okay? Of course it's okay. What type of question is that, man? What? Using the magnet method? Are you in a long or short? You caught the long? Yeah, did anyone take the long? Hold on. Did anyone get a fill under 644? Anyone get a fill under 644? A lot of people got it, huh? Such a good fill. What fill did you guys get? You got 634? Oh, you entered way earlier. You probably entered on this candle going higher. Oh yeah, you definitely could have just taken it here. 629. If you did something like turtle soup or 5 minute, no, I'm interested in people who got in on this. Like, did anyone enter on 944 candle, but got a good fill on 944 candle? I missed the long. That's what I wanted. Like my entry, I want it to be right here, like literally right here. Anywhere in here, that's what I want. That's where I want mine. You got 943 fill. You guys tried 943. Yeah, 943. I would think it would have been easier in terms of timing because you just probably got it as this candle went up or closed. But if you got it while this candle was ticking down or trading back up, if you took that long, you gambled. Yeah, that's so cope, bro. That's very copium. Don't worry about what other people are doing, bro. Why are NQ and MNQ so uncorrelated? I wouldn't know. I'm not even gonna bother check. Long was outside macro. You're right. It was outside macro. It was 944, but it was leading into the macro. So it's set up before the macro, and then the macro delivers. After 9:30, we didn't take out any key liquidities, but before 9:30, we did. We took out sell side right here, right? So it's not like we didn't take out liquidity today. We had a huge overnight sell off. So, you know, sell sides have already been grabbed. You know, if you learn from ICT, then you would view that as smart money's already positioned long, and they're just gonna use 9:30. Like that's the idea, guys. If you trade ICT, if not, then ignore what I'm saying. But the idea is smart money is already positioned long and pairing orders long beneath the sell side here. Okay, so why is smart money positioned long? Why would 9:30 come out and take this low? Again, this is hindsight study, but this is how ICT would teach it. I never wanted to see this low get taken. I said these lows were up for grabs. Those equal lows. We didn't get those. I thought it could have been possible. But the idea is if smart money is positioned long, you use that volatility at 9:30 to potentially send it higher. Anyway, let me focus up here because we might get a setup. Is that a 15-minute gap? 5 minutes for the 15. We'll try that. You got shorts? Good luck, bro. Hopefully it plays out for you. I think there's an SMT there. There's an SMT here. I think it's relevant. No, not really. But I think we'll at least retrace into the 5 or 10-minute gap. There's a 10-minute gap here. 10-minute gap here. Not something I would trade. Would I take this inversion? No. I'd have to see the 15. So see this 15-minute candle? It hasn't formed yet. There's 4 minutes and 30 seconds. But I'm anticipating it's going to form a 15-minute gap. So if it does, something like this maybe, and then we get a protraction setup in there, it wouldn't be A plus, but it would be something I would want to risk on because that daily target is still open. So we're gonna have to wait 4 more minutes, and then we'll go from there. Yep, YM exactly. YM is still bullish. You enter on the plus IRB, nice, bro. How am I supposed to finish this shit by the end of the day? I'm literally not even making a dent. Anyway, while we're waiting for 4 minutes, literally can't trade for the next 4 minutes. I want to show you guys the Discord section for the bootcamp. And if anyone has any advice on something they would want me to add, please let me know. As of right now, there's going to be the study tab. There's going to be the assignments tab. This will include assignments and tasks. There's going to be the journal tab. This is where you'll journal all your trades as I instruct every single day. This is where you'll submit the assignments and the tasks as I instruct every day. So you won't put anything in here unless it's instructed by me every day. We're going to have daily class after market. So daily class after market. And then if you want any questions to talk to me directly here, I don't know what this is. And then obviously, just the general chat, you guys can talk about whatever there. I was thinking about making a stock section with explanations of stocks and why they're good, but for some reason, half of the Discord said they don't want stocks in the bootcamp. So I don't know. I guess no stocks. I don't know. I don't know why people. I guess people just want to focus strictly on getting a payout. Obviously, besides that, that's just the Discord, right? Besides that, um, we're gonna be working on each person is gonna get a payout plan. You know, assuming they want one. But basically, the goal of the bootcamp is to get you your first payout, right? Or if you just seem to can't get another one, that's the goal. It's mainly for a beginner trader. So I'm assuming you guys don't have a good risk management plan. You don't have a good payout structure plan. Maybe you don't even know the firm rules. Maybe you don't even have a good model figured out. So we'll work on that stuff. All that stuff will be in the videos. And then the classes every day for you guys, right? So I wouldn't take this. Like I said, I need to see the 15-minute gap, which is here. I'd have to see that. So I'm hoping this is a fake long, right? Listen closely. I'm gonna call this out. And I may be wrong, but the way I see this, whatever happens here is a fake long. Whatever happens here, fake, in my opinion. Or I just don't want to see that. And then I want to see it pull back down and then set up the final leg. That's what I want to see. That's what will make me trust the stop loss that I'm going to place. Technically, if following my model, you could take a buy right now, call that the OB, and you could take a trade like this. I would not be comfortable with a stop loss here. I feel like I would get very likely souped. So that's not what I want to do. So we're going to wait 30 more seconds. We're going to try the 15-minute. I'm going to see if we can get it's a 10-15, but usually I don't like the 15-minute PO3, but because the target's right there, I think we can get there in the next 15 minutes. Especially because we've been choppy here already. So that's the idea. Buy side level is 803.5. How do I know if my plan is good? You can talk to me about it. After your trades, can I show you some stocks? You can send me a list. I'm pretty picky. I don't like it really when people, tell me, oh, I mean, if you want me to look at a stock, that's different. When people say, yo, trust me, get this stock. No, I have a stock model that tells me the exact probability of a stock. Let me make it very clear. Showing all good signs, all the good signs. Like I have a stock model. It's gonna give me a number. It's gonna give me a number. It's subjective, but it's subjective also not subjective. Also, you could short right now to target that low if we get this inversion. That's a 1 hour setup. It's not a bad setup. Does that make sense? If you want me to look into them, yes. It's actually not Gem stock model. It's a verified version of William O'Neill's stock model. Um, ICT also taught the same one. I just took it and made it. I feel a little bit more modernized. And just to be clear, it doesn't tell you when to buy. It doesn't tell you when to buy. In terms of when to buy, I use ICT concepts. Same way I trade. I look for a power of three. The only difference is I add to my losers. If the trade is losing, I don't mind dollar cost averaging because there's also an investment idea. Um, that's one. Two, the model is for selecting winning stocks. You know, which stock do you even look for to buy? That's what I haven't really taught, but I tell people where they can find that information. Again, I don't want to see this hold. I want to see it come lower. I want to see a fake long setup. Why don't you take it? I missed it. Hello, bro. I also live in Canada. Can you check your DMs and help me with the payout thing? I will be posting it in my Discord. Don't message me on TikTok DMs. That's probably the worst place to reach out for me. Bro, as a new beginner, what roadmap would you suggest for me? Um, there's a lot. I'm gonna be honest. There's a lot. I can't. I don't want to sit here just explain that right now while I'm live trading. There's a good amount of things you need to keep in mind. Strategy, your risk plan, your eval plan, your payout plan, how to go about money management, risk management, trade management, and that's not even talking about strategy at all. So how to journal, how to improve, how to show up every single day with the right mindsets, how to change your beliefs, all that stuff. I can't answer it, but generally speaking, you're going to want to figure out a strategy that works for you and make sure you trust it. And you're going to want to execute that strategy until you can master your weaknesses. You're going to figure out what your weaknesses are, and then you can go. Yeah, I don't dollar cost average on my trade. I don't dollar cost average on my futures trades. I rarely, literally never do I add to a loser. Where can you learn all that? I don't like promoting my shit. I would just join my Discord. My Discord's free. You can join my Discord. Can I help you with each single one of individually? Probably not. You could join the boot camp. If you want, what I would recommend for you is just start watching ICT's 2022 mentorship. That's what I would do. If you have a lot of money and you want to spend $40, you can join the boot camp. It's gonna be $40 or $15 a week. So you literally will not find anything cheaper than that. I purposely priced it cheaper than any eval because the way I see it is if you're buying evals but you don't really know what you're doing, you might as well not buy the eval and just spend 1 month and let me try my best to help you. So I want to see this 15 get tapped. I would love it to see, no offense, but if someone took a long here and I see them get stopped, I may also get stopped later, but it just would be a little good feeling. Don't do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be helping a lot of people. Yep, you can join the free Discord. Daddy can't please talk TV Discord. Yep, you can always message me on Discord. I can make a video on my stock model, yes. I am planning to do that. How much time did it take you for taking my first payout? I first started learning ICT. After I started watching 2022 mentorship for the first time, it took me 6 months. So 6 months from the day I started learning ICT. How much percent do you make with stocks investing? I aim for 10% gain per trade. I'm not short, I'm bullish. Stock investing is not day to day. Like right now, I'm in a position up 10%. I'm holding. I'm in the video longs. How many payouts you get now? Depends. Some months a couple. So month zero. How much percent do you risk? On what? My live account? 1%. This is NASDAQ futures. How long does an investment take? I don't call it investing. I call it swing trading. So anywhere from weeks to months. No, I don't take a payout every single day. That would be kind of crazy. What are you waiting for now? I need to see this 50. I need to see this low get taken right here. If this low gets taken and I see my protraction model long and it looks good on ES, I will take the setup long. November, I got 3 payouts. December, I got 3 payouts. November, December. What's before November? October? I don't remember. I don't remember anything past that. Before that, I don't remember. Took a live account withdrawal in October. 10% withdrawal. Putting me back to base. There's not much to focus on. I mean, there's one scenario I take a trade. We take the low and protraction long. It has to form clean. It has to form strongly. And it needs to have supporting analysis on ES or YM. I've been trading for over 2 years. What's your plan if you are $800 in drawdown and got 600 left to lose? I'd risk 150 per trade. If your life depends on the account, you got to start with 1 or 2 micros per trade. And so, offer deny payouts due to location? No, they shouldn't deny payouts due to location. Unless you're trading from a banned country, then I don't even know how you got accepted, to be honest. So, 952 sweep? No. It can. It doesn't matter to me. Whichever one forms the protraction. Not keep the same size. Because you're not at the same place you were when you first started. I don't want you guys to think of it as a mentorship. I don't qualify. I think it's more of a boot camp because it's gonna be me. It's literally gonna be like your. I guess it is kind of mentorship, but I was gonna say like a student. Like it's gonna be a class where you have to do your homework, you have to do the assignments, you have to show up every day, you have to be accountable. You do your journal as I instruct. You do your homework as I instruct. You do your market review as I instruct. You attend class, and if you can't attend class, you watch the class recording. You come back prepared the next day. It's pretty much to make you locked in every day. You know? That's what it's for. It's to build consistency, and for those who are new and just completely lost, it's for them too. If you're a decent trader, you still need to build consistency. So that's what it's gonna do. Classes on market reviews, and then obviously I'll help you guys one on one if you need, a trading plan. Because some people are just lost completely. Like when I looked at the forums that you guys did on Discord, the amount of people who are just like completely lost, completely like you think you're on the right track. I read so many stories, guys. There were 250 entries for that Google form. I read every single one. It took me 4 hours. There were great stories, but some of you were really lost. Really lost. The classes will be held after AM session, and also we can do some on the weekend if people can't attend the AM session classes. After AM session classes. If not after AM session, we can do after PM session. Those are the 2 options, depending on majority consensus. I prefer after AM session because most people trade AM session, and I'm a big believer that you need to journal right after you trade. As soon as you're done trading, you go, you journal, then you close the charts, and you come back tomorrow fresh. Okay? How long will the classes be? Anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour and 30, I'd say. Depends if there's questions. Depends how significant the price action was. I'm sure there will be questions. Maybe me understand more on ICT Silver Bullet. Yeah, I love ICT Silver Bullet. It's a great strategy. Looks like we're going to make a higher high. I prefer the equal highs, but not a big deal. Yep, I backtest on trades that love. When does it start? Thursday is sign up. If you want. What's PO3? Just stands for power of three. Um, it's as simple as when a candle opens, you're expecting a range to get put in, whether it's higher or lower or both. Once a candle opens, there's always going to be a range. Okay, trading the power of three is simply when bullish, you're looking to buy somewhere in here, or at the very least, not at the high of the candle. You want to catch a distribution. You don't want to catch a retracement. You don't want to catch a consolidation, right? That's what I qualify as trading the power three, not AMD. I don't care about AMD that much. AMD, the only time I really use AMD is 9:30 and also for Asia. So like right here, if we had a clean AMD, meaning we went like this, that'd be my 930 classic model. I have a very specific model just for AMD. I'll show you guys that. You know a lot of traders in Canada? Yeah, I do. Are you always gonna do the bootcamp? Good question. I don't know. We'll see. If it's helping people and they want me to keep doing it, yeah. If you followed your strat, look at what Noah said. Noah said no accounts are blown. Just gotta move past it, not repeat the same mistakes. Did I miss something? Hey guys, the bootcamp information is all gonna be in the free Discord. You can just look. I don't want to sit here and answer questions. To be honest, I don't even want to talk about it on live stream. I just want to show you guys on YouTube that I meant the Discord. And if you have any advice on something that needs to be added and you feel would help, I feel like I covered almost all of it. But if that's the only reason I said it, I'm not gonna bring it up again. If you want the information, it's in the free Discord. I'm not here to promote anything. I'm not here to convince anyone of anything. For those of you who already know me and you think I could help, it's for you. We have journals, of course. Of course, we have journals. That's probably the most important thing. I have to look at your guys' journals. The reason it's important is because, and I already kind of knew this, but I can see it once I read the Google Forms that you guys sent me. People are unaware of their mistakes. It's quite obvious. So either they're not journaling or they don't know how to look at their journal and figure out what's going wrong. They'll say like, "Oh, I'm just not disciplined." Yeah, if that's your answer to yourself, you're gonna say that for the rest of your life. Oh, I just need to be more disciplined. I need to be more disciplined. You're not gonna. What are you learning about yourself? That's too broad, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. You journal even when you don't place a trade. So I have a trade journal and I have a daily journal. Can I add you to my private Discord? I'd rather you just send me the entries. I'm probably never gonna look at your Discord. No offense, nothing against you. I'm just already in so many Discords and I already have to go through my Discord and I'm gonna have to go through the entire bootcamp entries. There's probably a very low chance I'm gonna be looking at your Discord. Unless you want to add me, then like if you have a very specific question, you just send me like a link to the post. That way I can just click the links to the post. How many glow? I blew 2 accounts before passing my first one. Oh no, 3 accounts. Sorry, 3 accounts. It's been a long time since then. I forget. Yeah, definitely some questions that are not that important. What do you say about doing journals on Notion? Notion is great. Nothing wrong with Notion. No trades yet for me. There were a couple setups we called out, right? This one. And I also talked about this one. I said how I wouldn't take it, but I did say that it was a valid setup. It still hasn't played out. Actually, would I have broken even? Yeah, I probably would have got stopped out here, so it would have been a break even anyways. Yeah, Notion's great. The only thing I don't like about Notion is the images don't upload in 4K. So what I do personally is I have a separate journal here. This is for 2026. Obviously, I have my old ones. And I do the studies and executions, right? I also have a Notion one, but I want to make sure I'm keeping the executions clearly. Another thing is when people journal, like listen, let's get a show of hands here. Show of hands. You think you're journaling properly because you're journaling every day, but you're journaling shit like P&L, the model you used, risk to reward, uh, like stuff that literally doesn't really mean much. What is P&L really gonna tell you? What is risk to reward gonna tell you? The risk to reward changes based on whether you pyramid or not. Like that information is not gonna help you. You know, you need to journal what you were looking for going into the day, anything that you took and why. You need to journal the executions because just looking at the executions say a lot, right? Um, you need to journal what you observed during the trade. That's a big one that people don't do, you know? I saw this, therefore I did this. And you'll start to see decisions that you maybe made that were not logical, you know? I closed my trade here because, and then you're like, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't have closed it here, right? And then obviously after the trade, reflection. So you journal before, during, during meaning any trade you take, right? I like this 1030 PO3 idea. If we just go down straight and then we get a setup higher, I like that. That would be a lot easier for me to trust. If we can just go down and then up. Yeah. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about all that. Obviously, I'm going to help you guys journal. I'm going to give you guys a specific template to follow, unless you already have your own. Our talk yesterday really opened my eyes to the journaling. Spent my whole morning reading all my logs and reviewing them and complying statistics. Nice, bro. Yeah, dollar does look pretty strong right now. You're right. In my first personal journal, I just copied a template. It had so many useless inputs. Yeah, it's like which asset did I trade? Which session? Why does that shit even matter? Who cares what asset you took? That's not gonna help you. What do you keep track? You really think like you know what I mean? Like that shit that you're filling out all these slots on your journal because it looks nice and pretty. And I fell victim to this. I gave you guys templates that did this, so my apologies. But I always still had a reflection period section, so at least it was that. But I was doing so much unnecessary stuff. Is it possible to drop? I wouldn't expect so, but it's possible, of course. It's always possible. Are you shorting? No, I'm going to look for a continuation long from the 15. That's the game plan. That's the only trade I see myself potentially taking. And honestly, best case scenario, it continues going sideways until 1043 to 1047. And then we get the setup. That would be A plus for me. If it forms now, it could still be A plus, depending how it forms. Well, you're clearly new to these streams. And the last one I tell you, I take signals although you saying people are not copying their own. Straight say. Oh, myth, we know you. Listen, truth is, some people take signals, some people don't. I don't really think it matters in the grand scheme of things because, yes, necessarily taking one trade is not going to make you a better trader. That's obvious, right? But if you're in the process of learning, again, I'm not encouraging anyone. I personally don't care if people signal me under one condition that they're not expecting to make money. You know, not to say that I'm not. You guys watch me trade. We definitely make more than we lose. I'm on a 15-day win streak with you guys on live stream right now. So obviously, net overall, we will most win most over lose. But when people copy trade me and expect to win, that's when they start crashing out themselves. They start blowing their accounts. And it sounds like I'm not talking about blowing funded. I'm talking about people who have bills to pay and they'll copy trade expecting to win and be able to pay their bills. That's what I'm talking about. If you blew your funded, I don't really care. Doesn't affect me. No offense. Everyone blows their funded, especially when they're still learning about themselves. Even nowadays, people who get payouts still blow their funded. It's not meant to be held forever. But when people have a bills to pay, and they're like, "Gatie, I'm gonna signal you." I'm not that I'm not okay with it, but you need to understand the risk that you're putting on yourself. Because it's not on me. You are making that decision. The risk is on you. It sounds silly that I even have to say that, but you would be surprised of the DMs that I get. You would be very surprised. Do I personally care if someone signals me? No. I'd rather you not tell me if you're gonna do it. Just do it. I don't think it's the biggest deal. As long as you're still trying to improve. The goal is not to signal forever, right? You want to improve yourself, be better than me. If you don't have the mindset to try and be better than me, you're not going to be successful. Because that's the mindset you need in any industry, that you want to be the best. Make your decisions like you want to be the best. Do I think you're going to be better than me? No. That's because my ego is high, and I try my best to outwork everybody. But that's not the idea. The idea is you need the mindset. I will be better. I don't want to copy this guy. I'm better. Anyways, that's my rant. Price is pretty slow. We're not getting much volume. The idea is the same. I had to see the 15. The only reason I need to see this, by the way, for those who don't understand why I'm waiting for this, is because if I'm going to take a long, I need to place my stop loss somewhere that makes sense. And right now, if I were to take any long here, in my opinion, does not make sense. However, if I saw something like this, right, this stop loss would make sense. I would be able to trust this low enough to the point where I can risk, it's going to be de-risk, so probably 100 or 150 bucks on this trade. But that's the idea. Right now, I don't want to risk 150 of my dollars. Not worth it. But if we get that formation here from the 15, maybe. Dollar index also is inside the daily CB again, so maybe it can move lower. What prop? I have a couple accounts open. The main ones you'll see me using for the next weeks or months will be Alpha Futures for sure. And then I have Take Profit and Top Step. I also have my live account open, but I don't think I'll execute that. You mind quickly showing how you marked up your charts and overall narrative? I haven't taken a trade yet. The overall narrative of the trade I'm looking for is pretty simple. I mean, I think the daily high here is in play. Classic buy day. I want to see daily levels get hit. I say classic buy day because we had open, London manipulated, and we're seeing expansion higher. New York continued the trend from London to pre-market. We took out previous day's high. I still think we can go higher. This white box is daily SIBI on ES, and we're trading above it right now. So we're treating it like an inversion daily fair value gap on the 1 minute chart. So that's a confluence. 1030 opens, trades lower. That's 1030 power of 3. If we get a setup, I can take a trade long. I do use standard deviations. Probably not the way you would expect. It's more just for targeting purposes. You mind showing how to pick your daily high? It's just the most recent one. Like, it's the most recent one. Friday's high. I marked out Friday's high on Sunday. You don't use Apex? Apex was good. I have a payout with Apex. Only one. The reason I don't use them is because I prefer the easier payouts that I can get, and I don't want more accounts now. So, will I ever use Apex again? Of course. Under the circumstance that I lose Top Step, if I lose my Top Step accounts, which right now I don't, I have $2,000 to work with them, so they're not in drawdown or anything. But in general, if I lose my Top Step accounts, then I'll get whatever firm has best discount. So if Apex has 90% off, I'll get Apex accounts. If Lucid has something, I'll get Lucid. If Funded Next has something, I'll get Funded Next. That third prop firm of mine, I don't really care. Whichever one is going to give me good return on investment. No Funded Next. Right now, it's Alpha Futures, Top Step, and Take Profit Trader. Take Profit Trader and Alpha Futures, I don't want to give those ones up. Those ones, I'm going to have forever, probably. I think those are my favorite too. Would I scale to 20? Maybe one day. But maybe not. That's every prop firm except Alpha Futures, Mohammed. Yeah. If you make 1500, request 1500, you blow the account. When you're going to buy, like I said, it has to come into the M15. I said 1043, 1044 would be best. 1050 macro. If we get the checklist forms inside the fair value gap, I'll take the trade. It should just be a one and done. meaning if we lose or win, well, if we win, obviously, but if we lose, there's probably not going to be another setup. So if it forms, it's going to be one trade. We're going to risk half R because it's safety protocol and we missed the majority of the move already. I don't want to risk, my 1R days on Wednesday and Friday. So risk half R if the setup forms. If not, come back. I'll trade PM session. Not lunch because we already moved a lot in the morning. Most likely PM session. Although I have another call at 2 p.m. So we'll see if I can even do that. Yeah, Alpha does good business. If I trade PM, I'll stream it, but I don't know if I'll even be able to. Like, I'll probably just be on my phone for the next daily payouts. Yeah, it's same as Take Profit Trader, same as Lucid. It's all the same. What time frame? Oh, daily, weekly, monthly. No, I cannot look at stocks now. No trade for me yet. Yeah, in general, I want to start streaming PM session. At first, I was like, no way. But nowadays, I don't know. I kind of get less hate now on TikTok. Maybe because I have less people watching me. It's only 400. I'm sure the hate will come back. But either or, I think I'm a lot better with managing the people who hate and spam and talk shit. And as long as it's not influencing my trading negatively, I don't mind streaming more. I'm trading. What comp sets do you recommend focusing while learning? Pretty much everything in the ICT 2022 mentorship is good. I'm a break-even trader. What do you recommend to get better? Ooh, those are my favorite people to help. If you guys know me, I was break-even for really long on live stream. It's there. I can't hide it. You guys watch me lose, win, lose, win, lose, win, lose, win, lose, win. Build an account, lose an account, build an account, lose an account, build an account, lose an account. For months. I was on the same account for almost 2.5 months, I believe, when I was streaming 2 years ago or like a year and a half ago. I don't know. I've been streaming for a long time. I like helping break-even traders because I realize now how much closer I was. Is there a 30-minute gap here? Yeah, nice 30-minute gap. Okay, we're getting there. Only issue is the risk to reward on this setup's not going to be the best. If we buy it before the breaker, say we get in on the rejection block reversed, yeah, we can squeeze out 2R. Let's see. I like helping break-even traders. You're a lot closer than you think. You need to figure out a way to make your losses less and make your winners more. The way you do that is by figuring out multiple things. I can't sit here because it's not a one sentence answer. For example, I'll start something very simple. Let's say you're losing a lot of trades that you simply should not be taking. Okay, well, that's a very easy one. If you're taking trades that you should not be taking, what do you do? What do you do? If you're a trader and you find yourself taking trades that you're like, I shouldn't even be taking this trade. Okay, the first thing you do is you need to make sure you understand your model clearly. It needs to be checklist format. If this, okay, I'm allowed to trade, I'm not saying you have to follow a mechanical step-by-step every single time. What I'm saying is you need criteria that's very clear whether or not to click buy or sell. That's the first step. Okay? Now, let's say you have that criteria very clearly. Most of you probably do not. Unless you've literally talked with me one-on-one and I told you that you needed that, you probably don't even have that. So I would start there. A very clear checklist. If you guys seen my checklist, there's no ambiguity. I'm either taking a good trade or I'm not. It needs to hit all 6 criteria for me to take a trade every single time. Okay? That's one. That's a very simple thing to improve on. So if you find yourself taking bad trades, ask yourself why. Do you not have a clear model? Are you not following your model? If so, why? Look at the trades you took. If you took a bad trade, for example, if you shorted, I don't know, here, ask yourself why. Well, in my opinion, if you shorted here, you probably just missed this move. Okay, so if you feel that missing moves is a bad thing for you, you have to figure out a way that you can, 1, better capture moves, 2, get more conviction, or 3, which obviously you have to do this, is tell yourself that just because you missed a move doesn't mean the best way to make money is to take an opposing trade. Because believe it or not, the best way to make money after you miss a move is to just not take a trade at all. You know? So you got to set something. Okay, you called out a move, you missed it. Wait for the next key time, right? That's what I do. It's very simple for me. I have 9:30, 9:50, 10, 10:30, 10:50, 11, 11:30. Naturally, it makes me more patient as a trader. Because one of my criteria is a key time for price movement, for price expansion. I have to wait for one of those times, right? Unless I'm taking a scalp trade like the 10, 15, the 15-minute power of 3 I talked about here. But those setups rarely form, and it didn't even form here. We didn't even get to 15. We had to wait literally till 10:50 macro or 10:30 open, like I said. So, anyways, if we get this inversion, I'll click buy, target the daily buy side. We take that low, yeah, SMT there. Yes. So I like what I see. We'll see if it holds. I'm gonna quickly check the YM chart. Okay, all-time high is there. It could potentially push up. So this would be the idea. Again, I'll risk 150. So that's 50 bucks. If we get the inversion, yeah, it'll be a 2 micro trade. I mean, we could go 3. Yeah, we can go 3 micro. We'll go 3 micro trade. And we'll be targeting around 70. Pretty good. So ideally, this candle just goes, shoot. Okay, this candle right here, if it immediately trades to, I'm gonna put buy this time so I don't miss it. 74175. I'll just buy 3 there. Right? Stop loss is 30 points, TP is 60, it's a 2R trade. It'd have to be this candle here. Trades to CE of this wick. It didn't happen. I'm gonna cancel this order. The reason I'm doing that is so I don't miss out trades like this one I missed. That's what I want to do, is put a buy stop right here. In case this candle was to just speed, flip, trade up there quickly, I want to be a part of that move. YM looks pretty good. Formed a protraction long. Keep going. Here. We may or may not get a setup. So this setup, if it forms, the only criteria that's a little bit iffy is, are we going to get a strong setup with confluences? Right now we have the SMT with the 15 inside the 1050 macro. I want to see that speed. I'm going to set my order right here. So 742, I'll take the buy stop. On this account, I'm going to do 4 micros, but on my other accounts, 3. And obviously, if we get the inversion, I'll just click buy 4. I don't need a... So good confluences. Just want to see a little bit more displacement, speed. Dollar indexes maybe slightly pivoting lower. Okay, this candle right here. If it trades here and immediately expands, I'll buy it at 736. This would be the immediate rebalance. Same as last time. And again, if it doesn't happen on this candle, then I just simply won't take it at all. I want to see speed. The only thing that's not happening right now is the speed that I want to see. We are sort of putting in a bottom. YM hasn't hit my alert. I'm going to keep an eye on YM. If YM goes above this high, I might just click buy. That's solid. Okay, as long as we don't trade here, I'm going to leave my order. If we trade here, I'm going to... Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. If we trade to this price point before here, I'll cancel. If it just goes up, I'll take it. Order should be 737. I want to see the immediate rebalance offer sensitivity. If we trade to right here, I'm going to cancel this order. We'll have to wait for something a little bit more clear. If this candle doesn't trade there and it just goes up, we can keep the order, get filled at 737, which would be the CISD, by the way. That's why the order is there. No protraction on YM. Yeah, so this is the situation. Everything's aligning except the actual candles. In terms of narrative is good. Everything's good. IRB is fine, still respected. Order is at 737. So again, I'm risking 3 contracts on the fundeds. This is also a funded, but it's going to be 4. It's take profit trader. And I just need to be a little bit more aggressive on this account. Especially because I'm doing them one by one. Well, not one by one. I only want one account. I'm not copy trading take profit trader with other take profit traders. Couple seconds here. I mean, I'm going to leave the order. I can always cancel. What I'm really looking for is a candle to just shoot up and fill me. I have to cancel this order. All right, let's cancel the order. So we didn't see what we wanted to see. That's fine. The inversion now, if it was to form, guys, it's not going to be that clean. Unless I see something like this. You know, you want to see speed from the level you're expecting to be held. So let's say we don't take this low and the next candle shoots up. I can't take that trade. It's not good enough for me. I need to see a clean sweep, tap, go. Buy stop here. Buy stop. Again, I'm doing this so I don't miss the trade. If we just shoot up, I'll buy it there. This low is up for grabs. We can take that. That's the lower 15, right? Oh, no, lower 15 all the way down there. We'll see how low this goes. Again, as long as we respect this blue box, it's fine by me. Look at dollar index. It looks like it may make a lower low. ES is about to, sorry, YM is about to soup this low. YM has 30-minute gap at 10 a.m. That's right here. If YM trades there, maybe set up higher. Stop loss would be 36. Targeting 72, so still 2R. We can get even better entry. I'm going to cancel this order. Again, it's just there in case the market goes really quick. What a nice sell. I wouldn't say nice sell, but yeah. Decent move. I mean, from the high, it's 90 points, but realistically, I really don't see a way you can enter on the high. I think the best, there's not even a setup here. It's nothing I would take. Even if I was bearish, I'm saying. I'm not. Gotta wait, little patience. See if it wants to give me the displacement here. YM, I want to see YM go a little bit lower. So NQ can go lower or not, doesn't matter. But I want to see YM go a little bit lower. Take a look at ES here. Okay, we're in that discount 5-minute. Discount 5-minute. Hoping we can find a continuation from there. So I'm just gonna mark this. Make it even more simple. We can just mark this now. So narrowing down the 15, 5, and 1 into this last fair value gap in discount. Anything lower, meaning obviously if we trade here, yeah, significantly reduces the probability. If we start seeing speed higher now, that's something I could trust for a trade. It's pretty bearish, pretty heavy right now. Obviously, really strong bearish move. If you look at 1030, we didn't even go above it over one tick. We just went one tick above 730. So I'd have to see some pretty significant speed. I'm even questioning potentially taking the setup on YM because it's the strongest asset. If YM was to close like here, that's a 3R setup on YM. So if YM is going to give me a protraction 1050 macro from the 30-minute fair value gap to all-time highs, that's a really good setup. 3R. Really, YM goes a little bit lower. I want to see YM trade here. If YM can just go a little bit lower, I'd be a lot more enticed. 10 a.m. low. Hopefully it doesn't set perfect equal lows. I'll take it on NASDAQ, but it's probably better on YM. If I'm being on it. Should I take it on YM? I have to see at least like closure here, I'd say. I feel like YM is better. Issues, I don't know the risk on YM. What's 1 micro for 40 points? Or 1 mini? 1 mini, 40 points is 1. Yeah, we could just take it 1 mini. I don't rather the 4 micros. We'll see. May have to wait for 11 a.m. open. If this is bearish, by the way, these lows and org 50 are just very, very suspect. So all this could be grabbed. Org fill is probably the draw. If it's bearish, just to say. If I was bearish, that's what I would be aiming for. I would not be surprised at all if it just shoots down. But I do want to scout the long here. YM is kind of delivering. At least the CISD here. If this candle shoots up, 709 makes me happy. I'm gonna de-risk. I'll go back to 3 on this one. There. I want to see speed right now. We're not really getting that. Looks pretty heavy. I'm gonna cancel my order yet again. YM is delivering. I'm really questioning just taking the trade on YM. Then there's no intermarket analysis supporting the trade. Although dollar is weak, right? Okay, dollar's weak. Dollar looks really weak. YM looks pretty good. Maybe after this S&T. YM is literally just going up. And Nasdaq's just going down. A little bit difficult market. There is an SMT there. So I am thinking maybe now is time potentially. If this SMT holds on all three, that would be really nice. So if the next candle expands higher, I'd say arguably A plus. We'll see if it actually does though. Otherwise, it's just like it's bearish taking the lows. I don't see myself taking a short because if I had the wrong, if I took a trade long and then flipped, it's different. But now that it's just going lower lows, lower lows, lower lows, I'd rather not. Look at YM, such a nice flip. Can't even get 2R on YM anymore. It doesn't have to inverse the yellow gap. 5 MNQ. Again, I don't know. I'm not the best at calculating YM. I think 50 points is one mini. 50 points is $200. No, or so I don't even know. If you do 50 points, one mini is 250. No, no news today. Right, quite a while. 12 points is $25. That doesn't help me too much. Below that daily Sibi on ES, I don't like that. I want to find my setup inside that daily Sibi. Yeah, this looks like it's not gonna form, and I wouldn't say I missed the shorts. I don't think I would have caught this move in a million years. YM maybe protraction here, in which case maybe the breaker, and I would take the breaker. Half risk. At this point, I'd probably just risk like $100. Side there, best case scenario. Low hanging fruit. 83.2. Yeah. It's just making lower lows. Such weird candles. Don't often see that. The SMT is still there though. It's 11 a.m. open now, which I like. 11 a.m. candle. That's the only high. So if we get a strong breaker, I can totally believe this being a fake move, just to entice shorts and then run the all-time highs on YM. Like I really like that narrative, but it doesn't seem like it's gonna pan out, and that's okay. It started fitting after 10 minutes. Yes, and pretty clean day. We're going down. Not gonna lie. Yeah, looks like it. What time would you mark out the FEG? This is a 1 minute FEG. 1 micro point is $2.50. Oh, okay. Thank you. Higher probability to happen. Consolidate after buy side and sell side was delivered. After sell side is delivered, I expect to move back into the range. If we deliver sell side, then I expect to move back into the range. No trades for me yet. Just got tucked to the down. I don't know what that means, but YM is making higher highs. So, in the sense, we're wrong maybe about the draw, but we're also right. Like, YM is not doing this. YM is doing the opposite. It's like slowly going up. So, a little confusing. On average, assuming you're doing everything on your own and no one's helping you, I think you could do it. And it depends on what's your definition by profitable. Like, let's say, replace a minimum wage job, you can do it in 6 to 12 months. From the moment you pick up an ICT video and you want to replace your minimum wage job, then you can do it in 6 to 12 months. I feel like if I was to help someone for 6 months, I could get them to replace a minimum wage job in 6 months. Maybe that's a little some ego talking from me, but 6 months with good guidance. If your goal is just to replace minimum wage, low hanging fruits, pretty easy. With prop firms, obviously, it's easier. No, I was not trading aggressively on evals. I had no money to my name. I didn't have a choice. No, the bootcamp's gonna be as long as you guys want. The goal is to get you a payout, and then you feel like you don't need me anymore. Obviously, that's the goal. Can you stay longer? Sure, you can stay longer. Shorting. If you shorted, I don't know where you would have shorted though. Like, what candle? You could argue this, like, this probably would have been the best short. But then you're shorting to a 50-minute bullish for value gap with all-time highs. Like, in my opinion, there's no high probability short here. In hindsight, it delivered very nicely, but again, dollar was sort of pivoting lower. YM, I still think YM can run the all-time highs. So we'll just have to see at this point. It's not really clear. But what I do want to know is, do we take out any? Didn't really trade into any level, unfortunately. Just kind of fell short. Trading back into 4-hour order block. Doesn't look like we'll get the setup we wanted. Hey, luckily the model saved us today, so we didn't have to take a loss. We could have taken maybe this win, hindsight. So 2 trades that we tape read. This one would have been break even. That one would have played. I was looking for some longs here. Didn't form. Just kept falling. I'm totally happy with that. I'm glad that it didn't give me my model long, and then it failed me and then reversed. So the model protected us today. Don't really see myself taking anything now. YM looks pretty good. My objective for this would be org fill. I think org fill is very likely. Again, no really setup I would take. There's no clean level here of buy side. There's no, if this happened after this was taken, sure, maybe. But it kind of just consolidated and then dropped right into this fair value gap 1050 macro. So in hindsight, yes, the macro did deliver, but this is not a move I will be anticipating ever. So I'm okay missing this one. Honestly, feels pretty good. We trade into the lower 15 and the 4-hour OB. Not fully abandoning the by the way, not fully abandoning the potential long, but I mean, thank you. This is first presentation. Pretty much that's a 15-minute fair value gap. So interesting thing here. If YM gives me protraction model, I can maybe. Oh, this is like falling knife. It's a risky trade. From the discount 15, 1 minute left in the macro. I'll be honest, guys. This is like a 1 micro trade. Like, I don't even think I'll take this on my other funded. Just take profit trader. I'm looking at YM. It's YM that would give me any sort of conviction to take this trade. If a YM gives me protraction long, I can anticipate a long here. What SIBIs am I shorting into? Is there a 10-minute? Yeah, the 10 minutes going to be right there. I think we just accept missing the move, guys. I'll be honest. You can take this long if you want. It's not a bad trade. Really good risk to reward potential. YM probably going to deliver all-time highs. I can't say the same about NASDAQ and ES. Dollar index is also moving higher. Small red flag. I just can't take it. After being so patient, my gut is telling me to just miss the move if it plays out and just try to catch something that's a little bit easier to take in the future. So we're gonna sit here and watch. Uh, if you're in the trade, let me know. No, I'm not gonna take it. Good luck, bro. I'd rather stay flat. I'm being honest. Yeah, fast break even is a good idea. You could probably already move your stop to the body here because of the fair value gap. So that's a good thing. I'm in this de-risked. Good luck, bro. It's a good idea. It's a good trade idea. It looks really good. I can't lie. Market structure shift, fair value gap. YM hits the protraction model. Okay, since YM hit the protraction model, I'm gonna buy this fair value gap. I'm only gonna take this on take profit trader. Just to make that very clear, I'm not executing this trade on Alpha Futures or Top Step or my live account. Normally I don't tell you guys, but in this specific case, just for the potential and the risk to reward, I'll hop in. The protractions formed on YM. So instead of executing YM, I'm executing NASDAQ. Really, the trade that I would want to take is like this on YM, 1.25R. So I'm hoping that we get a break even. Genuinely, I may move my stop to 670 if we get breaker. I'm seriously considering it because I don't even really want to be in this trade. Not that it's a bad trade. Like literally all the check boxes are there. The only reason I didn't take this trade is because I've already been so patient. I don't want to take a loss late into the session like this after fading so many setups. I mean, I say so many setups, but there really wasn't anything in this whole price run. But anyways, one account, take profit trader. I'm willing to put on, how much risk is this? About $100 risk. That's less than half R. We'll see if we can pyramid one early on. If we get breaker, I'll pyramid one. I'm risking a little bit too. I'm risking a little bit too little to the point in which it doesn't really make sense, right? I mean that's a 100-point run. Stops at 648. So it should be. YM is delivering so nicely. You know, it's just NQ is not. Let me check ES. Yeah, ES is similar to NQ. If we go like this, I'll move my stop here. Pretty much break even. YM's great, man. YM looks great. It's literally just going up. They almost look like they're inversely correlated. YM's almost at TP. YM is the Dow Jones. Not that it's trash. It's just weak. Right, Nasdaq's weak. It's not trash. You know, that would be like shorting YM right now and being like, oh, NQ's trash. Trash. We get protraction. I'm moving stop and adding one and letting it go. We get above here. I'll even put a buy stop, make it simple for myself. The next two-ish candles trade above this high. I'll move my stop here. Add one there. and then maybe add on the breaker. Do I think it's gonna happen? If I'm being honest, guys, I think Nasdaq's either gonna chop. If it doesn't go now, it's probably just gonna chop until YM hits all-time highs, and then they both go lower. I think that's likely. I'm gonna choke my stop loss here in a bit. In a bit, I will choke my stop loss. If this candle can just go a little bit higher. It's guys, look at the number. I don't want to say it, but I don't know. Seems like a signal to me. The number for the stop. If we trade here, I'll move here. Short NQ inverse. Only if YM took all-time highs. Otherwise, no. If this candle expands higher, I'll buy and move stop. This candle right here, immediate rebalance. It's consolidation of doom. This is the benefit of having multiple prop firm accounts, by the way. And that is, it's a lot easier to get at least one payout if you're cycling accounts. You know what I mean? Same scenario. If we close above this candle, I move stop. I'll add one. I'll put that at 679. Just see. We're trading this fair value gap. YM looks good. ES looks okay. Definitely spent a lot of time in this fair value gap. I don't like that. If we can get above here, that's a good sign. All right, I'm going to jump the gun here, most likely. Move my stop to 659. Just want to reduce my risk on this trade that I didn't even... I wanted to really de-risk on this trade, so... There's a stop, 659. Minus one tick. And probably not going to... Should I pyramid this? Risking $60. It'll be around $90. Yeah, I'll pyramid one because the risk will still be like $100. That's a really good risk. That's a really good risk. So I'll still add the one contract if we get there. So at least if we lose, it's how much are we risking? $60. Okay, valid. Valid. If we break higher, it'll be $90. Why are you not fully confident with the setup? I don't think if Nasdaq was bullish, it would go this far down. You know, that's the reason. So I guess you can say my fear in this trade, or my concern with this trade, was that Nasdaq would either just go sideways or continue to consolidate, while YM takes out the all-time high. So my drawn liquidity for this trade, just to be clear, it's not a target on Nasdaq, although I have a best case scenario here. My target for this trade up to 660.75 is the all-time high level on YM. So I'm taking a trade on Nasdaq on the premise that YM is likely to expand higher. That doesn't necessarily mean that Nasdaq will expand higher, right? So that's my concern of this trade. The setup itself is a really good setup. It just took a little bit really long to form. Nasdaq does not look strong. to see all this and then be like, oh, Nasdaq's obviously strong is a tough ask, you know. But we managed to take the trade, reduce risk, risking 15.30, but risking $90 on this trade with really good risk to reward potential. So it looks like we probably will get stopped here. That's a pretty strong candle. Should have been sensitive at the OB. I'm very happy with $90 loss. That's not even half R for me. There's a small fair value gap in here, so obviously I'm not saying this trade is doomed, but if it's not going to be sensitive now, then it's probably not going to be sensitive at all. The good news is, if the next candle expands higher, I can move my stop to this low. And I'll probably do that right now. 6, 6. So again, I'm choking this trade. So choking this trade, obviously, not giving it much room, demanding it needs to go now. We are now risking 30, no, is this 30 bucks or 60 bucks? Risking 60 bucks on the trade. So if it doesn't go right now, I don't even want to be in it. Yeah, simple. So this fair value gap, we filled it. I want to see it go now. If it's not going to go now, I no longer want to risk anything. Like I want to get stopped out. No, what I want to do is preserve my capital as best I can. You know? So close. I don't want to get stopped out, obviously. But I do want to lose little on this trade, right? This is a 50K take profit trader account. I don't like that it says 666. I'm a little bit skeptical. I'm gonna go 666.2. No, I'm going 667. I don't like that number. I don't want to see that on my screen. Call me a hater. What are we targeting? The target is YM all-time highs. If you want low-hanging fruit for Nasdaq, this fair value gap, I'll take one, and then best case scenario, the buy side. See, YM is about to take all-time highs. This is the reason I took the trade to begin with. We're going to move the stop to 673, not lower than the OB body. That would just be random at that point. So still some logic. It's actually 674. So aggressive management, which is exactly what I wanted to do. YM is approaching the all-time high level. I'm going to remove this order because, again, I believe in my objective, which is not on Nasdaq. It's on YM, all-time highs. So I'm going to wait for that. So we managed to cut the risk to about $9. Again, I didn't take this on Take Profit or Alpha Futures or Top Step. Just my Take Profit trader account, which I'm just trying to build a buffer. And I want to be more aggressive on this account. I've had it for 2 to 3 weeks, still no buffer. So, again, so you guys get the idea. YM all-time highs. That's the objective for this trade. What you do once that gets hit is completely up to you. You can full close the trade. You can take a partial. You can go break even and hope. You can, again, I'm removing this order. I think what I'll do is definitely take one and then just see what the rest wants to do. So giving it a second here, YM, you're going to see an alert pop up most likely. Maybe not. Maybe we get edged, but most likely you'll see an alert pop up here any second now. Definitely want to be risk off for that alert. Ideally, we did touch that fair value gap that I annotated earlier. That's a key fair value gap. Move the stop for just commission purposes because I want to see my green calendar. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Straight up, I have a big ass green calendar and I want to see it stay a big green calendar. So waiting for YM. YM's really close. When are they correlated? Since it first came out, my brother. It's not NQ and ES. It's YM as well. Looks like we're gonna get break even here. Wow. Look at that edge. Very close. Anyways, good trade, good management. Uh, won't complain about the outcome. Doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Obviously, could have been just what's it called? Could have been soup and it continues higher. Maybe not. YM is around 2 ticks away from its all-time highs. I don't see it worth taking another trade on Nasdaq to capture that little of a move. So in hindsight, I think I was right originally to just trade YM on that first setup that formed at 10:57. That was a 4R play, or at least a 2 to 3R play. That's what I'm gonna put in my journal. I told myself, for those of you on TikTok, you guys can't see shit. Okay, this line is all time highs. YM. Um, the trade I took on Nasdaq was on the premise of this move happening. I probably should have just executed on YM. I think that was a mistake on my end. Obviously, I had the power of hindsight here, but that's what I'm gonna put in my journal. I'm gonna say YM was obviously the more bullish asset with the clearer objective. The setup formed, and I should have just taken it on YM. Very nice setup on YM. This 1050 macro protraction, you guys know that's my favorite model. 1050 macro protraction is by far my favorite model, and it formed textbook. In fact, I think I took this exact same trade last week where YM 1050 macro protraction to all-time highs. Like literally the exact same trade. I think it was a 15-minute fair value gap on YM with the CIC inversion to all-time highs in the 1050 macro. So I've taken that exact same trade before on YM, and this time I didn't. I was kind of hoping for just like a really great run, but it is what it is. I think the risk management was great. We moved our stop loss the most aggressive I could have. You know, protraction here, prediction, protraction here, protraction here, prediction. So overall, very happy with my trading. I'll make one annotation here, and that is if YM could just take the all-time highs. Okay, I'm gonna say YM takes all-time highs here. So that's the only thing I really wanted to say. YM will probably in the next 2 or 3 minutes make a higher high, and then I don't know what's gonna happen after that. Maybe they both go lower, right? That was the idea originally for me. I'll put in the 1050 macro in here. So what time is it? Yeah, a little bit of a late stream today. So I'm setting up my journal now. Save myself time later. So I think that's what I'm gonna put in my journal. Um. Uh. I'm not gonna really journal this trade. I mean, bucks. I mean, I'll journal it as a break-even trade. I mean, good pyramid entry, right? So you can see how we break-even trade. Yeah, I'll put it in there. Wednesday should be good. Friday should also be good. Okay, 11:29. Takes all-time highs. Should go there. Can't leave it edge like that. Pretty sad, but I mean, you know, I did say that this was the best partial, and I kept moving it. But it's because I thought YM was just gonna spike through and maybe like really go. So I want to offer myself the okay, and there it is. YM takes all-time high. So very nice. So that's my journal for the day. Not much more to say. There's not too much uh There's not that many annotations. I would say the best study of the day, and what I will do is put this here because then it makes sense why we rejected right off of that fair value gap because it's the first premium already. Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say. I'll put this here, here, give a CE here. That'll probably be it for me. Let me send this into the Discord. So break even day. I'll most likely trade PM session if I can find myself opportunity to, hop on. But I really want to just work on some projects I have, if I'm being honest. So every guy, freaking stutter. Every single day, break even day. Called it out on YM. Made the decision to execute MNQ. This is what I will be studying in my journal today. Was bullish. That's pretty much all I want to say. I'll say was bullish today because of YM. Also, this was the short we took on Discord yesterday. So I said risking 0.5 on the short now. If I lose, I'm done for the day. I'll be minus 1R. 1150 macro lunch reversal. If you guys remember that setup from yesterday, it was really nice and played out. So we ended green on the day yesterday. It was bullish today because of YM. All-time high. Clear objective. So no complaints there. Good risk management. Never exposed myself to any amount of risk today that I was uncomfortable with. That's what matters. I'm honestly really happy with a flat day. I've been having a lot of trading days recently, so having a day with no trades kind of feels good. Yesterday, I took so many shorts that it kind of made me lose my mind a little bit. Just so many times, I was trying to be nimble and manage risk really well, but yesterday just kept forming and then unforming and then forming. So yesterday. Just making my final annotations here. So if anyone has any questions, this is the part of the live stream where if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask while I just simply finish my journal and my study. So feel free to ask. You think YM dumps? I would expect it's really hard to say. So I would not base it on a YM anymore. I would base it off of NASDAQ. If NASDAQ is going to move lower, I'd expect YM to also move lower. Yeah, that's what I would do. I would not base it off of YM anymore. If this inversion was to form right now, I'd expect a pretty good long opportunity, but I think short is probably no. I really probably would not go short because it's not going to be clear. Let's say that much. There's no clear one-sided narrative. Gatie would believe that I took 7 trade. Would you believe it? No, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing as long as there's logic and reason behind. What do you think about taking a long on MQ from New York AM low IFEG? 943 long, you mean? You're in YM shorts? Hey, man. I wish you luck. I'm not a fan of looking for really any shorts after all-time highs. But what I would do is if NASDAQ looks bearish to you, then you can justify the YM short. Because it's not like they're all at all-time highs. It's just YM. Stocks. Send me the stock. I'm not going to open up on live stream. I have to go through a whole process. It would take way too long. If I trade PM, I'll start streaming PM session soon. But I will not be trading PM session on live stream most likely today. Will there be a video about your stock model? I will make a video about my stock model. Yes. If it takes today, then yeah, that's not a bad idea. I'd probably look for a little bit lower than that. If we're gonna come down here, I'd expect price to explore something in this area, so a little bit lower than that. But yeah, that's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. You have to be bullish at the time, right? Can you teach us your stock? I will teach the stock model And should I just put it in the boot camp? For those of you who asked about the stock model, are you joining the boot camp or no? Because if so, yeah, it's still canceling. Please show chart. You guys can't see. Um, it's a cancel model. It's just I made it my own, right? I have 3 years experience trading stocks on the same account, live. Never blew it. Never went in drawdown. Most of my trades are winning. Um, the same model. After blowing express, I'm rushing to try and get back there. I don't know how I should take these evals now. So your issue is you're rushing on the express account, right? Um, my advice to you, you're rushing. The first thing you need to do is ask yourself, why are you rushing? Do you believe, let me ask you, most people believe that if they risk more, or if they take more trades, or if they try to hurry back and make back their losses, they believe they're going to make more money. But that is not the case. I'm sure you're starting to realize that it's not the case, right? If you try to make back your losses too quickly, you're actually going to end up in more loss. If you take too many trades, you're probably going to end up in more loss. If you over risk to try to make more money, you're probably going to end up in more loss. So in reality, you're not rushing anything. You're rushing in the moment, but overall, on the long period of time, you're really just extending your process. Believe it or not taking a trade is probably sometimes the fastest method for you to reach a payout or pass an account, right? For example, if I took any longs here and I'm like, oh, I gotta make money, in reality, I'll just be further away from my goal. So once you can truly come in acceptance with the fact that risking more, trading more, rushing to make back drawdown, rushing to make back a loss that you just occurred, that stuff is not going to speed your process. It's going to make it even slower. You know, trading after you miss a move because you feel like you missed it. The boot camp is $40 a month or $15 a week. The reason I added that option is for people who don't really know if it's going to be value to them. I don't want to make you stay for 1 month. Um, Again, I don't really want to talk about that on live stream. So if you have any questions, it's in the free Discord. I will make it very, very, very clear exactly what is going to be in the bootcamp. So nobody should have questions. Although if you do, ask me, obviously. But I'm going to make it very, very clear on what it's going to do. How do you deal with emotions after losing so much? Depends on the emotion. What are you feeling? Are you feeling like you're not good enough and you're probably going to fail? Because that's solved with conviction, right? Depends on the law. Do you feel like you're hopeless? Again, that's conviction. You don't have faith in yourself. Of course you're going to lose. You don't even believe in your own self. You're going to lose. The market can sense your fear and it will destroy you. If you don't even believe in your own model and system and ability to make profits consistently, you lost. You already lost the game. Is there any person out there in any sport who's like, I don't think I can do it, and they're successful? No, not a single one. Not a single one. So, what emotion? Depends on the emotion. What stocks are you trading now? Currently, not all in, but the only stock is Nasdaq. This is NQ futures. Yes, this is not stocks. But I think he was talking about, because I was talking about my stock model. That is for Nasdaq. Sorry, I'm in Nvidia longs right now. I don't know why I said that. We're good. We're up around 10% on Nvidia longs. Hopefully, it doesn't break us even. Moving further away from the goal payout. There's the issue. You said it right there. Why is your goal a payout if you don't even have the skills to get a payout? You have the wrong goal. That's like saying, my goal is to make in the NBA, but I can't even score a layup. I have the wrong goal. Every time I fail to make it into the NBA, I'm going to be down on myself. I have the wrong goal. Your goal is not achievable right now. Your goal doesn't make sense. How can you have a goal of making a payout if you don't have the skills to get a payout? You have the wrong goal. Your goal needs to be to improve every single day or every single week. I don't use leverage on stocks, no. I'm very safe with my stock model. We took one trade, break even. So that's the mistake. That's what it is right there. You said it. The goal is payout. You chase the money, you're gonna get burned. There's one thing in common. Listen, if you guys read the book, uh, The Best Loser Wins, it talks about something that's very important. It talks about in the book how every single trader tends to fail. Like 90% of traders fail. So what does that tell us? That tell us every single person who becomes a trader, and they're all smart people, they're successful, they have capital, they have all the things, they have all the tools from the brokers, they have all the information online, they have all the books on site, they have everything available to them. Yet, 90% fail. Why? You have to ask yourself why. Obviously, there is something that they all have in common, right? And if you want to be different from the 90%, you have to be different than the 90%. Like if you want a different outcome, you need to be different. Okay? There's one thing I realize, common sense, that every single trader has in common. And I know this because people always come into my live stream and I always find the same mistake. They tell me that their goal is to get a payout or pass an account. This is for the last 2 years, people have been telling me this exact same thing. You know what that tells me? It's very clear to me now what it is. Traders start trading to make money. And the moment that's what goes in their mind, they're like, I'm going to start trading so I can start making money. You're immediately cooked. You have the exact same mindset wired that every single trader has. Therefore, you are normal. Meaning you are the same as the 90% who fail. You all have the same mindset. I had the same mindset. So I'm not blaming you guys. I'm not even talking about anyone specific. I'm just saying you need to have a different mindset of every single other person who tries this and fails. 90% is a very big failure rate. It's a very big failure rate. So that's my opinion. I missed the 400 point short because I forgot to click sell limit. What's the right mindset? Good question. I'll tell you what helps me and works for me. In my opinion, you need to have the mindset of improvement. Just focus on improving your skills every single day. You know, if you can truly, and I mean truly, focus on that, you get to a level where the outcome of the trade doesn't mean anything. Because when I go to my journal at the end of the day, what am I going to say? I'm going to say, I learned this, or I saw this, I improved on this. I made a mistake and I see that now. Next time I will do this. And those things is what fuels my dopamine. The improvement factor every single day. You guys have watched me improve. Guys, I've been streaming live for you guys almost 2 years every day. I am not the same trader I was 1 year ago. I was break even for like 2 or 3 months straight 2 years ago. You know? So my dopamine doesn't come from winning, doesn't come from losing. It comes from showing up every day and having the opportunity to improve. Today, for example, I'm so happy today. I genuinely feel great. You want to know why I feel great? Because I recognize the long and I recognize my mistake that I should have trusted myself and taken the trade on YM. Was I ever confused on YM? I was calling out YM longs from the beginning of the day. I was always bullish on YM. The drawn liquidity was clear. I said exactly protraction model from exactly where it was going to form at exactly which time. Yet, I executed NASDAQ. Why did I execute NASDAQ? I don't know why. Maybe because I wanted potentially more profits because the move was going to be larger. Maybe I just wanted to trade NASDAQ because, I don't know, I was lazy to switch. I don't know. But generally speaking, I know that I can improve now because I learned that about myself. That's what brings me success. And I guess you can say, I don't want to say happiness, but you can call it happiness because most people get happy when they win. Obviously, I get happy when I win too. I'm not a robot, but the goal is to improve. I can't even count how many small changes happened in your trading over the last few months. Yeah, even every month, man. Every month I make changes. How about that? Every single month, what I do at the end of the month is I make a list. If you've ever been, I shouldn't even say that, but if you know me, I make a list of everything that I want to improve for next month. So directly, like I'm actively making adjustments. If last month I took a lot of losses that were big, the next month I say I'm focusing on making smaller losses. I literally forcing myself to improve from the previous month. I'm not worried about, I'm not even thinking about winning or losing. I'm focusing about making losses smaller. So when people were talking shit, oh, you want to get stopped out here when you move your stop loss? Yeah. Yeah, I do want to get stopped out. That would be great. I would take a reduced loss. That was my goal from last month. So yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to take a reduced loss. That was going to make me happy. That's what was going to tell me that I'm improving. I'm taking a reduced loss, right? So appreciate you. Okay, Mackenzie's really asking something. I gotta scroll up here and find it. Um, Bro, I have been trading for a while now, and I have ICT entries and ways of determining bias. I get them right, but I've decided to be real with myself this year and taking. And the problem is over risking. That's a very, in my opinion, easy problem to solve. There's a couple things you need to realize. One, over risking does not mean more profits. It's a false accusation. It means more losses. Your number one goal as a trader is to preserve capital, not to make money. If your goal is to make money, you're already like every single other person who fails, in my opinion. Again, you guys don't have to take my advice, by the way, but if you over risk, it does not equal more money. That is incorrect. Okay? More money, you want to know how you make more money? You hold on to your winning trades and you add to your winning trades. Okay? That's how you make more money, not by risking more. You can't accept losses. You have to figure out why. Okay? Why do you think it is that you can't? What do you mean you can't accept losses? Meaning you can't accept being wrong, or when you lose, you need to make it back. What exactly are we talking about here? There's a lot of differences. You would fail the 30-second, it cooks you. I mean, you could just keep practicing with it because obviously it's gonna get better. But yeah, opinion on 1R. In my opinion, nobody should have fixed risk to reward. That may be a hot take. People are gonna call me crazy. But how do you know the reward of your trade? Like, every trade has an idea, but you never know what the market's gonna give you. What if you take a trade and you get the the best feedback from the trade possible? You're gonna close at 1R? That's a stupid decision in my opinion. But can you be profitable with just 1R? Yes, for sure. If that's what you're asking me, 100%. You can be very profitable with just 1R. We can do weekend classes, but the classes are going to be every day after trading. I'm going to answer questions and do a review. The problem with people is that they hear the advice, but they don't hear it. They don't accept it as a thing. I think people understand what they need to do, but people say, you just can't accept the loss? What does that mean? Okay. What outcome does that have on your trading? You can't accept the loss, so what? How does that impact you? Tell me. What's the, like, you know? Okay, you didn't accept it. Okay, are you revenge trading after? Are you taking bad trades after? Are you over risking on the next trade? How much you make on average per year? I don't want to talk about how much money I made, but I'm in the 5 figures from trading on average. Because I wasn't making in the beginning it was 4, and then I had some bigger months. Some months I didn't get payout, but just for retrospect, I got 3 payouts in December. I got 3 payouts in November. I got, and I think like 1 or 2 in the ones prior. Not every month though. Not every month I get a payout. Some months no payout. Do most profitable work in Canada? Yeah, almost all of them. Proof you can pay attention to the live stream. You're the GOAT. I'm not the GOAT. Just a regular guy. What sort of profit factor is considered very profitable? It just has to be above 1, right? Am I wrong? As long as you're in profit. Purge? Purge is a run on stops. How about a fixed stop? What do you mean fixed stop? Like not moving your stop loss at all? I think that also makes sense. I think locking in profits is very important and reducing your risk is very important. But that's important to my trading. Maybe you're different and I can't argue with that. Dog, I've been following you for 3 months. You didn't get 3 November and 3 December. Yeah, you definitely have been following. We literally went on a. I'm on a 16-day win streak right now. I took 3 on my trip in New York, and I took 3 before my trip to New York. I only have 1 XFA. You think I should buy a combine to have 2, maybe? If you haven't gotten any payouts, there's no point in getting more accounts. You're opening yourself up to more risk. I'd focus on the one, get it done, and then you can scale. The bull balls, man. Yeah, I guess. I guess so. Does the consistency stay with you all the time on Apex? Yes. Consistency rule never goes away. On funded. On eval, there's no consistency. You can pass in 1 trade. Do you use your strategy for passing evals? If not, what do you do? Yep. Just more aggressive on the risk. That's all. More aggressive with the pyramiding. Um, Sometimes even a 1R trade, I'll take it on eval because with aggressive pyramiding, I can make it 1.5. Sometimes on the account, I only need 1.5, right? Are there any downsides to using a live account other than copy trading? No, I love the live account. It's my favorite account. You're long? I think it's a decent setup, 1150 macro. Like for me, the only time I break even is when my profit hits my risk. Profit hits my risk. So once you reach 1R, you break even. That's not a bad idea. What I would do, top hat, that's it. I like people who make decisions like that. What I want you to do is look at all your trade, like do that, because that's a profitable thing to do. But then look at all your trades after and say, okay, how can I improve this? Right? Is there something that's repeating that I can take this to the next level to increase the profitability? Right? For example, maybe you see something in price and you're like, you know what? Let me move it 10 points in profit, secure $50. Over the course of a period, that may equate to 1R, for example, right? So little things like that can make a difference, but I think that's a great decision to make. I did go to college. I got my first payout in class. How many payouts would, or how many points would you consider your risk? Any, any. I guess the maximum on a 50K account would be 100 points. It depends how big the candles are, right? It's not up to me. The stop loss goes where the candle tells me to put it, not where the amount of points. What is consistency rule? Because I trade CFD. Consistency rule states your your best trading day cannot exceed 40% of your total profits, for example. On ICT's latest episode, we did daily charts every day. Now, it's probably the settlement price. You know, toggle that on and off, see which one he uses. The broker for live account is Interactive Brokers. I use them for stocks, therefore I just made it simple. Use them for futures as well. Yeah, you should use your strategy for evals. No point. Shorts too. Nice, bro. Should I look at Fetch AI as a good? Oh, take a look. I will look, but it's probably not gonna meet my criteria. Do you use it? Did you drop out of college? So nope, I didn't drop out. I finished. I was trading in college, in class. I do sometimes dabble with MGC. You're right. Do you use Wealthsimple for broke? I actually use both. Both. I have accounts with both. So my long-term investments with bonds, ETFs, um, equities, diverse, Canadian and US. That stuff's all Wealthsimple. I rarely touch that. I barely look at that portfolio. Um, I just try to deposit when I can. But my personal trading investments, I use Interactive Brokers. Wealthsimple is a good platform. It's a really good beginner platform. If you don't have Interactive already, I would just do Wealthsimple. Great option. What if you make 40%? No, it will not breach the account. It doesn't matter. You don't have to count the consistency every single day. Don't do it like that. You don't have to worry about hitting it. It's only for payout. So just make sure you reach the 40% by the time you want to request. I'm 23 years old. What do you think of ICT core content? It's amazing. I love ICT core content. I've seen it 4 times. How do you manage college and training at the same time with no money? So hard. It was very hard. Please accept you? No, thank you. I probably will never accept anyone. No offense. I'm interested by you. When you get a payout from Alpha, are they paying you from their funds or you're trading live market? It's their funds. They're paying you from their pocket. What did you study? Kinesiology and health promotion. So that's exercise science. I've seen all of ICT's videos, yes, including the most recent ones. Nothing too new. I didn't take any notes. Didn't need to. Do you use CBCR and Asian range and flow? I used to use Asian range. The only thing I would use Asian range for is seeing how far we've extended on the daily range. I'm aiming for all-time highs on Nasdaq BG, but currently I'm sitting at break even, and if it goes below my break even, well, if it hits my break even, I'll accumulate a larger position deeper in discount. So I'm aiming for all-time highs. Exercise science, like gym, nutrition, health promotion. What's your favorite alpha account? The one I use is standard. How do I learn if I only know Spanish? Google Translate, maybe? What to know you got extra knowledge would could have been helpful for trading. don't understand your question. I wish someone told me when I first started to go all in on capital preservation. Like I wish someone told me like your goal is don't worry about the like. Obviously they told you, but like what platform would I use to trade a live account? I would recommend. Are you in the U.S.? Then you have a lot better options. Yeah, yesterday I backtested on Thursday where consumer price index, food, energy, and price for 3 days. Which should go to Metro. You're in the US, I would recommend probably TradeStation is a great platform. You could use AMP Futures, Tradeovate, Ninja Trader. They're all very, very good options. Whichever one suits, whichever one looks cleanest to you. The margins are all good on all of them. AMP Futures is a good one, really reputable. Um, I think it's the biggest one as well. Let's say you entered and got stopped out and wanted to enter the same one for them. Would you go in? Oh yeah, 100%. I do that all the time. Sometimes that'll take me 3 times. Isn't it 2,000 the equivalent of 50K account? Yeah. One side of a session? No. Sometimes I'll take 3, 4. It'll use if I take multiple trades, it'll usually be the same idea. Sometimes it takes multiple entries to get the right move. But obviously depends on how I manage my risk, right? If I lose 2R, I'm done. So if I take a trade, I don't move my stop, full risk, I lose. Another one, lose, I'm done. I won't lose more than 2R in one day. But if I take a trade, I lose half R or break even, I'll try again. I'll keep trying. Reward myself for good risk management and see if I can catch the move. If I miss it, I miss it. It is what it is. Which order to watch ICT? If you're completely brand new, core content months 1 to 4, then go 2022, 2023, 2024. My personal favorite is 2023. In terms of building foundations, 2022, in my opinion, is by far the best. 2023 is a little bit more advanced and a lot more boring. I don't trade 630. No. Should we risk more on evals? Uh, yeah, you should. Staying it 1 month for straight. Yeah, man. It's just repetition plays a big role. Sometimes you just have to hear the same thing over and over again until it really ingrains in your brain. You teaching all that ICT in bootcamp? Uh, depends what you guys need. You know, you trade only macros? No, but every trade I take has a key time involved. Whether it's a new candle open every 30 minutes after 9:30 is a key time for me, or the macro. So every trade has a good PO3 in play. Is a drawdown of minus 450 count really that bad? Wait, like you're down 400 or you only have 400 to work with? Angel Morales, what I will have in the what I will yeah, break even day. What I will have in the bootcamp is my full system videos. There'll be 22 videos on everything that I use in my trading. So I don't know if that's what you're looking for, but if you mean like teaching all the ICT concepts, doesn't really make sense. I mean, ICT teaches them. My YouTube teaches them. I can sit there, like even explain like what a fair value gap is and stuff like that. If you really need to know, I'll answer all your questions, but I won't sit there and teach all of the ICT content because I don't think that's what people are here for. Right? People are here to learn how to actually get their first couple payouts. What is the reason why you won't lose more than 2R? I don't want to have a big losing day, right? I want overall my winning days to be bigger than my losing days. It's pretty easy for me to make 2R. Usually my winning days, like my real winning days when I catch a good trade are more than 2R. So I don't want to lose like 3R in one day because then I'm in just a lot of drawdown, you know? And if I'm going to lose 2R in one day, probably means I'm reading the market wrong. Maybe I'm chasing a move. Maybe I'm taking bad entries. Maybe I'm a little bit on edge mentally. So if I'm taking full losses, 2R, means I'm probably not at my best, you know? Sometimes you just take 2R losses and it's fine, but so I want to preserve my capital is what it is. If I lose 2R in one day, I want to save my money for another day where I'm better. Can you show us some payouts? Sure, man. Sure. What do you want to see? You want to see email? You want to see bank? You want to see Wise? Actually, I can't show you Wise because I had to make a new Wise account for my business. I'll show you the easiest thing, which is an email. I don't like to show often. In fact, never. I don't know if you guys will be able to see this. So my last two payouts, I had one, well, three, if you count it. November 28th, 2025. And then I had another payout times three on December 12th, 2020, 2024. December 29th, 2025. What am I saying? So I'll make it very simple for you here. I had two payouts in October. I'll make this very simple. I don't know how to. It's so fucking sketchy, bro. I don't know if you guys can see. So what you'll see here is the 3 and the 5 and the 2. So I will click. I won't do this ever again, by the way. But because you guys stayed till 12 p.m., I'll uh I'll do it. Okay, here you go. This should be easy. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna show you guys a screenshot and make this a lot simpler. I had a lot of one payouts. These were the only payouts I had, which were across multiple accounts. 7.5K in 3 months. No. In December, I made around, in my currency, 10K. And that's all I'll say. Why are your eyes red? I don't know. Maybe it's just light shining in my eyes. Would you recommend sticking to one specific model or learn two or three? I like multiple models personally. Different models for different things. Start with one and always feel free to add. I have a corporation. You have to use iDrops for the first 2 weeks, but then I stopped. I've only had one payout with Apex ever, and thought I'd never say that. Me too, bro. But it's just 1 month, so it's not a big deal. That payout was 10K my currency. What do you think about the bias right now? Neutral, brother. No, this IFG is not. This IFG was never valid. Hopefully, it's 50-50. Once YM took, are you a millionaire? No, I'm not that rich, guys. I'm not claiming to be any amount of rich. I'm not claiming to make any amount of money. The only thing I will claim is I have enough to pay all my bills. I have enough to save money, invest money, put money into live accounts. Did I say save? You know, when will you be a millionaire? Maybe this year. I don't know. If it goes well, hopefully, I don't know. Whenever it comes. Do you plan to be rich? I'm trying. Nah, I plan to be poor. Who's gonna say that? Obviously, the goal is to make money as much as I can. Take care, TP5. Apex, yeah, Apex is a great firm. Payouts I've gotten with. I have one payout on Apex, one payout, or actually it might be three payouts on Funded Next. I don't know. I haven't signed into my dashboard. It's either one or three. I forget how many accounts I was trading, and I have some payouts with TopStep in 2024. How much for a conversation with you in the DM? Free, bro. Message me. Message me. It depends how much you need though. Take Profit Trader, I'm using them right now. I love it. Please show us the chart. Here you go, my brother. Not taking more risk. Oh, I have more accounts now, right? So I have more accounts now. So the next time I get a payout, it'll be even bigger. Yeah, right. I have 100K. Like that's the idea. That's how we're gonna slowly go. What I want some people to realize is I never had another source of income. I never had a job. I was doing this. So when I had $500 in my account, I'm not gonna buy 5 evals and trade them all and hope for a big payout. I had to go one by one. You know, you guys have watched me trade live. I don't go through that many evals because I can't afford it. Well, now I can, but so I believe in that slow and steady. You have a target of how many accounts you would like? I'm happy with this. 3 alphas, 5 top steps, and 1 take profit trader, and my live account. I'm content. I'm very content with my loadout. Could I go buy 20 Apex evals? Sure, but I don't want that added pressure, and I can make a lot of money with just work. Didn't you work like the basketball gym? Technically yes, but that was like that was not really a job. That was like once every like that was like maybe 2 or 3 shifts a month for 4 hours, cash. It's like an on-call thing, you know. Before I was trading, I had a job. But what I'm trying to say is I didn't have money coming in, so I had whatever I had. Like if you guys don't know, 2024 August, I was applying to jobs. Like I was applying to so many. I had interviews. I was lying to gyms. I was telling them, I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. I was telling them that I've been personal training for 4 years. I told them I had a successful online business and that I made multiple 5 figures from trading, coaching people online and personal training them. I told them I had 100 transformations, and I was trying to get a job because I couldn't afford any more evals. That was literally it. I couldn't afford any more evals. Um, what ended up happening was I never got accepted. I ended up getting a payout. I used that money, and then I went break even for a phase, and then I started getting payouts again. So it worked out, but I was at a point where I needed money for accounts. So right, didn't you work? Yeah. So that's my story. Job from where? Gyms. I was applying to gyms. Alpha Futures Advanced or Zero Plan. Which one is better? From those two, if you're in if you want to go for really large payouts, go for the advanced. My alpha accounts are 100Ks. Alpha is my biggest money maker. That's my favorite account. So alpha standard, like genuinely, I could make these. I don't want to boost myself here, but one firm only, you can definitely replace minimum wage. Alpha zeros, 3 alpha zeros, you can easily replace minimum wage job. You have 3 standards, you can get a good salary, and if you up that to like 100Ks or 150s, I genuinely think, and I'm talking easy, low hanging fruit, like you have to do the minimum, like easy trades, nothing crazy. You can make 100K a year with 350K alphas easily. That's my opinion. Um, what's your average payout on the 100Ks? I just got the 100Ks. I was using 50Ks. Um, so I'll tell you this much. If I win my next 2 trades, I'll be requesting around anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000. That's gonna be my first payout to cover fees and stuff for myself. So if we continue the win streak a couple days longer, um, it'll be like a $4,000 payout. Um, that's gonna be under buffer, and then we'll see. How do you trade your evals for Alpha 100K? I risked 1,000 per trade. How long do I have to wait to get my first payout on Alpha Standard after first trade unfunded? You'd have to wait 2 weeks from your first trade, but you can do it in 3 trades. I actually know what I'm gonna name my children. But I don't want to say it because I don't want anyone to steal my shit. I'll tell you when he comes out. I'll tell you guys. But it's gonna start with Alpha. No, I'm joking. Alpha denied me 67K payout from 100K Forex account, traded for 3 months and eventually banned me. I can't speak on Alpha Capital Group, but Alpha Futures will not do that. How can someone deal with the fear of entering and the fear of holding? Okay, good question. I like that question. You have a fear of entering the market. Okay, so let me ask you something, okay? If you took, let's just go crazy number out here. Let's say you took the same setup 50,000 times and you saw with your own eyes that it will bring you more money than you lose. Do you think that you would have that same fear of entering if you had that much repetition and conviction? Probably not. So your fear of entering comes from lacking confidence. It doesn't have to be the same model, but you need to have the same principles. In my opinion, the model doesn't matter. What's never going to change is my ability to risk manage. That is going to be profitable forever. So build that conviction. You need to get more confidence in yourself through practice. Let's practice. You have fear of holding trades. Fear of holding trades, that's a hard one to deal with. I'll be honest. Is it fear of giving back profits or fear of losing though? Because they're different things. If you have fear of giving back profits, which I have on my live account, I'll be honest. When I'm up like 2 or 3% on my live account in a trade, I want to close that shit. Fear of taking profits. So I'm a fear of taking profits. Are you scared of take profits, bro? What do you mean fear of taking profits? I'm assuming you mean fear of giving back profits, meaning you don't want to lose the money you made, right? But you have to remember something. This is the irony that you realize. You think that taking those profits is going to make you more profitable, but it's actually not. What's going to make you more profitable in the long run is holding on to the trades. Even if sometimes you lose all the money you held on to, it doesn't matter. It'll be outweighed by the amount of money you'll make by holding on to your winners and adding to them. It will be outweighed. You get what I'm saying? So you think mentally, oh, I got to take this profit. I got to secure this money because I want to be profitable. It's going to make me profitable. But it's not. That's what everyone thinks, right? I have to take the profit out of this trade to make money. Yeah, that's the 90% that do all the same thing. It's the opposite. You actually want to let this trade potentially come back and stop you. That's what you want to do. Because in the long run, that will give you more profits than simply closing the trade. So once you realize that, whether it comes through experience, backtest, or just, sitting down cold turkey and holding the trade, you will learn that even though sometimes holding a trade will come back and stop you and you lose all the profits you had, for example, this one I could have took a profit here, but I didn't because I knew there was a chance, potentially, that it was going to run all the way up here. So I'm going to risk my profits to make more money. Unrealized. How does losing money make you profitable? I'm going to assume you're not trolling, and I will answer completely generally speaking. Obviously, losing money does not make you profitable. That isn't even what I said. I said, when you give back profits in a trade, in the long run, holding those winners will make you more money than you lose from holding. So if you take a trade and you lose the profits because you held on too long, but there was logic to hold, in the long run, if you continue that pattern, it'll make you more money. You can ask don't ask ICT traders on TikTok. Look at the best traders in the world. Richard Dennis, read the books. They all say the same thing. You need a process of adding and holding on to winners. Sometimes you will be up 100 points. It'll come back and stop you, right? And that's okay. Because sometimes you're going to hold when you're at 100 points and it's going to go 200, 300, 400, 500. And when that happens, the gain from that is going to outweigh the bad from the other. The last thing you want to do is cut your winners. That's the worst thing you can do. You finally took a winning trade and you cut it. If you look at the statistics actually from brokers, you'll notice that most people have a positive win rate, but they cut all their winners early and they hold on to the losers. Like, I was reading the statistics in a book and it said like 60% of all the accounts were over a 60% win rate. That's so good. But all their losses were bigger. Obviously, they're not holding on to their winners. So that's just a statistic if it makes you, That's the 90% failing. And obviously, 10% find a way to hold on to the winners, add to them, accept it that it's going to lose sometimes. Not every time you're going to hold, it's going to come back and stop you. Don't beat yourself up in the journal. Don't say, oh, I should have taken profits. I should have. Why? You were trying to hold on to a winner. Maybe you were wrong to assume it's a winner. Okay, study that. But don't beat yourself up for holding on to a trade thinking it's going to go more. As long as it's not out of greed. This is where things get difficult. You can't be greedy. It needs to be based on your system and logic. Does alpha futures have trading rules for payouts? What if I get stopped out instantly? Trading rules for payouts. What if I get stopped out instantly? That's okay. I get stopped out instantly sometimes. When you instantly, like 1 second, I don't know. I think that's okay too. So when you place a trade, it's either break even or TP. No. I personally am I'm very active with my trade management. I will move my stop to where it makes sense. I will add contracts and take away contracts where it makes sense. And I will target as much as I can potentially target. That makes sense. Learn how to risk manage so you can be profitable. Yeah. Agreed. I breached my challenge account yesterday, stuck in psychology. I would say you're not really aware of what's going wrong. Stuck in psychology is a very broad statement. The absence of evidence is evidence of absence. Talk, I ain't getting shit. What? No consistency on Lucid funded. Max payout is 2,000. Lucid Flex is probably the best plan out there. That's what I used. And I don't have it anymore. I blew that eval. Only took one try. I won't get an account for a while. I don't plan on buying evals for a while. Stick with my fundeds. 11.15 short. You took the short at 11.15. Like, let me ask you something else. Okay? Let me ask you a better question. If I told you that this is all-time highs, right? And this is the price action on Dow Jones, would you take that? This is 11.15 is right here. Okay? Right here. That's 11.15. Would you still take that short? Probably not, because it's pretty obvious. I would say most people can see that YM will most likely run the all-time high here. Lucid Maps being 2K is that per account? Oh, per account, yeah. If it's 62 profit for life, alpha futures. The other one doesn't matter. Whatever I feel. If I had to pick one, I think take profit trader because it has the most potential. Obviously Apex has the most potential, so I take that back. But Apex is a little bit tougher, so I like take profit trader. Although I have 0 PS with them, but I just started with them, so I took the long. I got out break even though. You get it now? Thanks. Perfect, brother. You doing a good job? Thank you. Anyway, guys, I've been on live for way too damn long. It's 12:30. I'm starving. 3-hour live stream. Probably gonna lose my mind. I appreciate you guys coming through the live stream. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the Discord. Soon we'll just do this in the Discord. These questions and reviews, and we'll do all that stuff. I appreciate you guys coming through. Took one trade. So you check ES and YM? Yep. And dollar index. I heard TPT got the best live. Yep, they have the best live account. That's why I got with them. My goal is to hopefully get a live account with them. That would be great if I can do that. I'm not gonna pressure myself or anything. So that's just a goal for me. We'll see if we can get it done. My main goal is just to get the alpha futures payouts. Because, well, I need money. And yeah. Appreciate you guys coming through. I will see you guys live tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. Stay safe. Take care. Eating shawarma? Maybe I will get a shawarma today. I have a lot of work to do. I want to work on the boot camp a bit. So maybe I'll order some food, yeah. I'm able to request a buffer I made on Payout for Apex. No, you cannot request a buffer on Apex. You can on Alpha, and that's the only firm you can do that on. That's why I like Alpha Futures. Speaking of which, if you guys use my affiliate codes, please send me a message on Discord. If you guys don't know, I run a giveaway every single month. One for Alpha Futures, separate. And for Lucid Trader, Take Profit, and Apex, another giveaway. So might as well, right? Join the giveaway, win some cash, win an account, many rewards as I can. Try to add some more. The more I make, the more I'll give. Try to make it as win-win as possible. Obviously, I make more, but my code. So I'm able to request. Yeah. What do you think about the 3-minute gap we just filled? What's the discount code? It's code Gatie on everything. GATIE on everything. Anyways, I've been here for too long. I gotta go eat. I gotta go journal. Actually, I don't have to journal because I didn't take my live account trade. So luckily, I don't have to journal. I'll journal the day. I appreciate you guys coming through. I'll see you guys live tomorrow. Stay safe. Take care. Yes, I am Muslim. If you have any questions, message me in the free Discord. One last question: do you set your stop on the wick at the higher the point of the candle? Okay. Sometimes the body, sometimes the wick. The true definitive level is the wick. I'm assuming that to be protected low. But sometimes, if I think it makes sense and it's a better risk for me, I will either use 75% of the wick, 50% of the wick, or the body itself. So there's no definitive. I see what I see and I make the decision, right? You can't go wrong with the wick. If you have to ask yourself, just choose the lowest swing point. 1028 short is valid on NQ. Yes, it is valid. I actually tape read that trade and I said you could short that to the gap, but it's not something I want to take. But if you trade that retracement, you can take that trade, yeah. As long as you know it's a retracement idea, then I think it's completely valid. Make a model out of it. Retracement model by Chris, right? What do you need to see to take a trade with retracement? 1032 short? It's not bad. There was an SMT there at the time, I think. So, oh, that's why I am so confusing. It's not bad. If you were taking it as a retracement, I don't think it's bad. As long as you knew. In my opinion, that's my opinion. But everyone's different. It's not my style. 3-minute gap we just filled on NQ. I wouldn't look for shorts. Look at YM. Right. Looks like AM high is the objective. Also remember that this level is not gone. Right. I'm on the wrong chart. It's still not gone. It's still very much so in play. So it's very possible we get up there still. Anyways, that'll be my journal entry for today. I appreciate you guys coming through the live stream. No more questions. I'm done. If you have a question, ask me in the Discord. Stay safe. Till next time. Gaddy.